you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com. Whether you're at home, in the car, or on the move, you're never more than a tap away from Sports 1440. Download the radio player or iHeart app today so you can get all access anytime to Edmonton's only sports radio station, Sports 1440.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks, ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Jason Gregor isn't just a sports guy. He's a community builder. With over $2 million raised for local charities and his Gregor Foundation, he's making a difference on and off the air. Check out Gregor weekday afternoons on Sports 1440.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
I skipped breakfast this morning. Stay out of my way.
Don't threaten me with your bad choices.
No worries. A booster bar from Booster Juice will fix me.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, because they're new. Snack-sized bars packed with seeds, pecans, gluten-free oats, all sorts of good stuff.
That sounds lovely, actually.
2 different flavors to try, too. Coconut pecan booster bars and harvest booster bars. Want to skip breakfast with me?
I take it back. You make good choices.
Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenient on-site tailoring. Elevate you. MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Reason number 59 why Nissan is built for our winter.
The Los Angeles Rams go to the championship game.
Harshest winter conditions. Right now, you can lease a 2026 Rogue S for 0.9% for 36 months. Visit your local Nissan dealer today or nissan.ca for more details. Conditions apply.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru. Engineered for Canadian winters. Confidence. Symmetrical all-wheel drive, delivering the power, control, stability, and grit you need. And when the temperature plummets, you'll cruise in comfort with heated seats and heated steering wheel. All this plus peace of mind with Subaru's top safety pick status for 19 years running. This winter, it's time to get you into a Subaru. Visit Subaru.ca today.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
The Jason Gregor Show.
Hitting the line, Wallman, good shot.
On Sports 1440.
It's gone! The Los Angeles Rams go to the championship game.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
The man in motion. Drifting. Sprinting for space. All kinds of trouble. Put it up for next season.
What a magnificent Monday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. As always, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. It's a busy day, of course, Martin Luther King Day in the United States. So you have lots of matinee games going on in the NBA, as well as in the National Hockey League. The Hurricanes leading. They scored in the third period. They're leading 2-1 late over the Buffalo Sabres. Brandon Bussi made two, arguably the best saves of the season. You wait till you see the highlight of his save on Tage Thompson in the second period. Oh, my goodness. It was absolute robbery. Game that interests Oilers fans will come up later tonight, 7 o'clock. The Devils are in Calgary to take on the Flames. Get used to that this week, Oilers fans, because the Oilers, they play New Jersey on Tuesday, Pittsburgh on Thursday, Washington on Saturday, and then they play the Ducks next week. Their next 4 games, every team they face will be playing their third game in 4 nights, second half of a back-to-back. Those are scheduling advantages. Up to you to take advantage of it. Doesn't mean you always will. Look at St. Louis. They actually had a scheduling advantage against the Oilers, who had played in Vancouver the night before. Didn't matter. The Oilers spanked them 5-0 last night on Nugent Hopkins' 1,000th game night. He scores the first goal. Bench goes crazy. The crowd goes nuts. They win 5-0. They have Nugent Hopkins chants, which I've never heard before. Obviously, for years, fans would chant Nuge, but I had never heard the Nugent Hopkins chant. Obviously, fans were in a good mood. So, hey, why not? Away you go with that. But the Oilers, quite a weekend. 11 goals for, 0 goals against. Third time in franchise history, you have consecutive games with shutouts from different goaltenders. You got to go back to UC Markkanen, and Tommy Salo did it in 2002. Then in 23, you had Jack Campbell and Stuart Skinner do it. And now this year, Tristan Jarry and Connor Ingram, which leads to an interesting question of, like, probably just best to rotate your goalies. But the thing is, if you rotate them, that means Tristan Jarry isn't playing against Pittsburgh. And I know how it works. You want to play him against his former team, just like Stuart Skinner is going to play, I would assume, against the Oilers on Thursday night. So we'll see. But it is it's an opportunity here for the Oilers to get on a run. Maybe actually win 3 in a row for the first time. Who knows? Maybe they'll stretch it to 4 or 5. We'll see. But that was a big end to a busy week for the Oilers. They don't play 5 and 7 games the rest of the season. Their schedule now, the rest of the way, is incredibly favorable for them. So we'll see if they take advantage. So we'll touch on that. Also, a big weekend in the National Football League. We are down to the conference finalists, the Rams and the Seahawks, the Patriots, and the Bo Nixless Denver Broncos. The New England Patriots obviously are going to be the favorite now, even though they're on the road in Denver. Unless you're a big believer in Stidham, this is going to be a favorite for the Patriots. I'll say this: if the Patriots lose that game, oh my God, that will be a big disappointment for them. I would assume they win. I'll just say this: whoever wins the Rams and Seahawks, I think that team's winning the Super Bowl. So now the Patriots aren't just cannon fodder; they're good, but man, I think the NFC has had better teams all year, and Seattle looked really good. San Fran was banged up. San Fran also, maybe their record is a little bit inflated based on their schedule all year long, but you got to give Seattle credit. They spanked them. That wasn't even close. Right from the opening kickoff. Great way to start the game if you're Seattle, an absolute terrible way. We're going to get Sean Brown in a second. I'm curious you guys' thoughts on, you're in overtime of the playoffs. Both teams deferred. Both teams who deferred lost. Why wouldn't you want the ball first? I get their rationale as well. If we score, if you're second, then you have to match a touchdown. You have to match a field goal. Sure. But if neither team scores, you give them the advantage because now all they have to do is kick a field goal to win. Right? So I don't know. All I know is the two teams that deferred, they won the coin toss. They both lost the game. So not sure I love that strategy as we welcome in. We got a busy show for you, by the way. Kevin Woodley is going to join us as he always does on Mondays. We'll have Gene Principe, Cam Tate, Dennis Bernstein, Speck, Susie Origin will join us from Denver to see how the Broncos. This would be an epic. Let's be honest. They're the number 1 seed, but now it's a big underdog because they lose Bo Nix. Like, just brutal timing for them, man. Like, hey, if you had the Knicks and not Knicks, if you had the Broncos and the Patriots, the number 1 and the number 2 seeds going at it and everybody's healthy, I'd love it. You'd say, hey, they full marks, and the Patriots beat them now. You'll kind of be like, well, you better win this game. So it is a little bit different, but that's how it goes. As Sean Brown joins us. Brownie, how you doing?
Good. Happy to be back. Had a little break there, which was kind of nice. Go see the sun.
Yeah, where'd you go? Looks like you got a tan.
Yeah, went to. The weather was beautiful in Palm Springs. There, it's kind of that's our go-to place to go. It's kind of fits within the distance of flying that I want to deal with. And we kind of got lucky with the weather being good, and it was nice to get away with my wife.
Okay, I like it. The Oilers, pretty successful weekend for the Oilers. You know what? Fatigue maybe could have been a factor, but they didn't use it as a factor. You know what? Leon Draisaitl is gone for those 2 games for family illness reason. And, Zach Hyman talked about that, how that, that's a little bit of a motivator for the team. Like, hey, man, there's more important things. So let's do well by him. And then you have Nugent Hopkins game. Did you ever play in a game where one of your teammates was celebrating game 1000?
You know what? Not that it comes to mind. I mean, there was different milestones because it was nice, during, I think it was Stevens, Scott Stevens there with New Jersey. He was playing for something. And I remember, we had special patches and stuff. So I was lucky enough to be able to keep that jersey, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think anytime when there's special occasions, it's always gives you a little bit of extra motivation and excitement in the building and something to play for.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Connor Ingram had a great quote. How he said, "Man, I saw Nugent Hopkins in the hallway after the game and said, hey, man, I know this is your night, but this is something I'm going to talk about for a long time. Like, this was unreal to be a part of." And then he joked. He goes, "I really hope I get to keep my jersey because the only time I'll ever wear a letter in my career." And that was actually a really good line. It's true. It's like, hey, look at this jersey. Yeah. It's got the letter on it. It'll have the patch. And so they had name bars in their stall. Like, you don't normally have your name, but they had special name bars made. It said Connor Ingram, and then had Ryan Nugent Hopkins game 1000. So like little keepsakes like that, when you're done playing, you might not remember that game until you look, oh geez, now I do remember it. Right. So I could see how that would be a big deal. And for a guy like Connor Ingram he's very authentic, right? He's very real about things. And he's just, he's just enjoying the ride, and he's played very well for them. No question. But he's actually played phenomenal. If you look at, and that's why small sample size, 1 game really skews his numbers, because he's started 9 games, 8 of them have been quality starts, and in those 8 games, he's got like a 934 save percentage and like a 1.72 goals against average. Right? He had the 1 game against Boston or whatever, it happens, but he's been really good. Right? So where do you come out on the goaltending as far as how much you played Jari, who's been injured twice this year?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, it's nice, that, for Jari, when he did get injured, that there wasn't a real panic for him to necessarily come back. And it was an opportunity for both Pickard and Ingram to kind of just find their game and get some confidence in their game. And I think for the Edmonton Oilers, it really puts them in a position of strength, I think, because ultimately they're not going to go with 3 goalies. And the better that they can play probably just adds value, I would think, as the trade deadline comes. You can see with Ottawa and throughout the league, I mean, there's a serious need for goaltending. So it's a really nice position for the Oilers to be in. But to bring it back to, the Oilers and how they handle and the thing in what they're doing in these celebrations, as far as I think it's Brad Harrison, actually, I think the trainer that's come up with the idea of the t-shirts and what they do to make it special is so. I was talking to my wife about it yesterday. She's like, did they make as big of a deal as they do today in 1,000 games and all these different events? And I was like, no, but it's nice. It's good for hockey. It gets everyone talking,
they've always done the silver stick for 1,000 games.
Yeah, but I don't think they just, I mean, now you look at, Nugent Hopkins, you got his buddies, his whole family.
Yes.
You talked about the nameplates, it's just, they make a bigger deal of it, right? And they make it a lot more special, which I think is great, because I think the marketing and, the excitement around it definitely a lot bigger. So I what I thought was really cool was not only do they give, the silver stick, but I thought the mini stick, silver stick was incredible. I mean, that was just a nice touch and well deserved. And, like you said, I think we're all fans of the game, whether we make it or we don't. And to have some, whether it's a jersey or something that, when you can look back at your career and kind of think, wow, you know what, those were pretty special moments, because they're hard to enjoy, I think, when you're going through it as a player, because you're in it and you're so focused on, trying to be an everyday player, trying to fit in. You don't necessarily get a chance to really reflect a ton. So, it's nice to see that the guys are getting a lot of keepsakes and a lot of memorabilia that they can kind of look back on these special moments.
Yeah, no, it's good. Now the Oilers, they, you know what? The schedule becomes a little bit easier. And I do think like that's huge for them from scheduling advantages, which when you play the opposition, I talk to so many players, they're like, the back-to-back games aren't that hard. It's the 3 games in 4 nights. And when it's 3 games in 4 nights and the second half of a back-to-back, that's when and it's more your legs, right? Like, let's say you're playing 3 games in 4 nights, like which New Jersey will be tomorrow. New Jersey played Saturday, Monday, Tuesday. That Tuesday night game, it's your 3rd and 4, and it's the second half of the back-to-back, Brownie. What is it that you feel as a player? Is it just your legs? What is it?
It's probably a little bit of everything. The mental fatigue obviously plays a big part of it. I think what the Oilers are doing a great job of is the fact that they're getting depth and contributions throughout their lineup. And I think that's the key for any team, whether it's when I played or you're playing in today's game. I mean, if your top guys are playing and you're grinding them and you're, let's say, maybe overworking them, it makes it that much harder. I mean, the Oilers are in a good spot right now where they're getting good depth play throughout their lineup. And I think that just makes it easier on everybody throughout your lineup. So I think it all depends, how your team's playing as a whole would, probably determine how much wear and tear it has on certain guys. And, but there's another side too, where when you're playing and you get in a rhythm and you're just playing, it sometimes makes it a little bit easier too, because you're just in that mode and you never really come out of it. So I think there can be a benefit to both. I think, for the Oilers right now, hopefully they can take advantage, because I think they're in a great spot. They got 3 goalies that are playing great and a team as a whole that's playing better.
Yeah. Well, their defense is starting to play better for sure. Ty Emberson, man, he's looking really solid, isn't he?
You know what? I've always liked him. I mean, he really has that physicality to his game that just looks like it's real natural. He really likes to take advantage of, if there's an opportunity to step up. He looks very uncomfortable to play against. And I think he's really, taking advantage of playing with the opportunity with Nurse. And I think if those two can kind of feed off of each other, and Nurse's physicality along with his, it can make some games a lot longer for some of the better skilled players, which obviously is going to be the advantage for the Edmonton Oilers. So it's nice. And I think with his play too, gives Wallman a little bit of time to just kind of, with his injury, kind of get back and get his feet underneath him and his timing. And there's not such a rush.
Yeah. Jason Gregor, Sean Brown, through Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. You can always text us 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey guys, how many years has Nugent Hopkins played? This is his 15th NHL season for Ryan Nugent Hopkins. And you know what? He's someone who, it's 1,000 games. It takes you a long time. Obviously, he's missed some games due to injury a few times, right? Obviously, had a few shortened seasons as well. It cost him 30, 40 games here or there. But, like he's missed 9 games this season. So this was something that originally was going to happen on New Year's Eve had he played every game. But that just kind of delayed it a little bit and, worked out for Edmonton. I think worked out for everybody else involved. And he is, we had a lot of text people saying, Gregor, the Oilers have to change their rule for jerseys. Nugent Hopkins' jersey should be retired. Well, things can change, right? Like that is their current rule now. But I think the thing is, like, why does it have to change? Because Nugent Hopkins is like your favorite player or he's new? if the rule is you need to be a Hockey Hall of Famer to have your jersey retired by the Oilers, why should it change? That would be my question.
Oh, so I didn't know that. That's the rule for.
It's basically the Oilers franchise rule. If you're in the Hockey Hall of Fame, your jersey gets retired.
Is Al Hamilton in the?
Well, they've changed it since Al, because Al's came up originally.
Okay.
And then since then, they basically said, you know what? To have your jersey retired, you need to be a Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so, like Kevin Lowe's jersey didn't go up until he went in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. That's is that just for the Edmonton
just for the
Oilers?
Yeah. Right now.
Is that because they had so many good players?
Yeah, you can't, like, our society at times now is so focused on, well, everybody's got to be included. And in some aspects of life, that's true, but not in every aspect of life. And this is not, you have your jersey. It's a special, special honor. So now what did the Oilers do? They brought in a Ring of Honor because there's other people that have done a lot. Ryan Smith, Doug Waite. They meant a lot to the organization, but they're not on the same level of Gretzky and Messier and Curry and Anderson and Fuhrer and Coffey. And they're just not. So why should they be if they're not? Now, other organizations will have jerseys of guys, because Oilers fans have kind of been spoiled in a good way. Like, you're the only organization in NHL history that has 5 players with 1,000 points for your team, right? Draisaitl was the first one to do that when he became the 5th, right? Nugent Hopkins might be the 6th. Great. But that doesn't mean that you're going to retire his jersey. He'll have a special night in the Ring of Honor. And when you look at the jersey night and the Ring of Honor night, like, they're fairly similar, right? In ways, like, there's obviously some things that are a little bit different. And nowadays, the ceremonies are better than, like, Gretzky's night. Gretzky, I think, rode around in the back of a truck, if I'm not mistaken.
I was there for that game.
Yeah, I was there for that. I remember you were playing.
I think I was actually. My face was on the magazine of the. What is that? When you
don't have it?
I do have it.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, you better have that.
I do have. I actually got 2.
Oh, there you go. So, did you get Gretzky to sign one?
No, I didn't, but I got enough Gretzky stuff.
Oh, okay. There you go. And I remember, like, when Yari Curry came out and he had the super tight gear on, it looked hilarious. And then Grant Fuhrer, even, when he takes his mask off and he's crying, Oilers fans remember that one. And so, now, like, obviously McDavid and Draisaitl, they're going to the Hockey Hall of Fame. We all know that. Like, they'll have their jersey retired by the Oilers. And Nugent Hopkins, I don't think you have to change the rule. I'm sorry. I don't believe in change it just because, like, the jersey retirement is for, like, the elite of the elite.
I agree with you. I think getting in the Hall of Fame, getting your jersey retired, you gotta be the elite, like you said, of the elite. Ryan Nugent Hopkins is a very, very good hockey player that has done a ton for the community and deserves to be on the Ring of Honor. But I make it hard. Make it hard to get your jersey up in the rafters, and make it hard to get into the Hockey Hall of Fame. There's winning Stanley Cups, all that stuff kind of matters. And obviously we don't want to take away from anything that Ryan Nugent Hopkins has done, because it's been terrific and he's got lots of miles left on him still.
Yeah.
I kind of like that they've made it that way, because it just makes it that much more special for the guys that do get up there.
Yeah. So I like it. That's the rule. You're going to have some people, especially the younger generation, because this is your guy. Nugent Hopkins is your guy. I get it. But that's a rule. So you can't just change the rules because it fits you for that day.
Yeah.
Then it's not a rule. So it's just a guideline. And I think it's in place for a reason. And he'll have a very special night when he goes in the Ring of Honor. I have no doubt in my mind. Now, who knows? You know what? Maybe Nugent Hopkins, if he ends up with 1,000 points plus, maybe he's a guy who gets consideration later on in his career, depending on what he does in the next 5 years, right? Like
1,000 points. What about a Stanley Cup? I mean,
I don't know. Well, he'd probably have to have one, but, like, McDavid's going to the Hall of Fame regardless if it's a Stanley Cup or not. Right?
Yeah.
And I think there's lots of guys that go that way, but, like, Nugent Hopkins probably not a Hall of Famer. Like, let's be honest, right? He's had over 70 points once in his career. It's not a Hall of Famer. He's a really good player. Long-standing Oiler. Awesome. It's not a Hall of Fame. Quick break. We'll come back and be joined by Mean Gene on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Whether you're at home, in the car, or on the move, you're never more than a tap away from Sports 1440. Download the radio player or iHeart app today so you can get all access anytime to Edmonton's only sports radio station, Sports 1440.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks, ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
I'm Grant Fedork from Leading Edge Physiotherapy, and people who suffer brain fog might think it's just going to be part of their life. But listen, I've seen a 38-year-old man managing a concussion read her kid a bedtime story without losing the plot, all because of cognitive rehab that rewires the brain like a GPS reboot. Your brain isn't broken, it's buffering. One missed beat in focus, memory, or balance snowballs into frustration, falls, or forgotten keys. Stroke, concussion, long COVID, even aging can all lead to brain fog. Cognitive rehab works. Check us out at leadingedgephysio.com before your next "where'd I put my phone" moment.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Measles is very dangerous during pregnancy, increasing the risk of many severe health-related complications. If you're planning to become pregnant, make sure you have received 2 doses of the vaccine at least 1 month before conception. Don't get measles, get immunized. Visit alberta.ca/measles to find out if you're up to date and what to do if you're not. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halling, Sean Brown, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca.
It's Sports.
YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Yes, it is indeed Sports 1440. Connor's just giving us a little extra assurance that is Sports 1440 today. PP asks, hey guys, is there any other option other than 11 and 7 tomorrow for the Oilers? Well, if you're asking for options, yes, there are other options. Are they realistic? Probably not. The Oilers could trade Mangiapane tonight, and then you would have cap space to move some call up some forwards. They could put what's a player on game day waivers, right? Like Pickard. In theory, you can do that on the day of the game. Then he's not eligible, right? Clears waivers. You can call up someone else. But I think both of those are unlikely, so I think it'll be 11 and 7. Leon Draisaitl is scheduled to return for Saturday's game against the Washington Capitals. So, At most, it's going to be 2 games of 11-7, which isn't the end of the world. I know it's not ideal, but the Oilers playing no backs-to-backs now over the next, you look at they play Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, then they play Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday next week. They got a lot of time between games and be rested. So you know what, if you have a few forwards playing a few more minutes, the defensemen don't like it. And, Regula's the number 7 defenseman, might not get played a lot unless, the Oilers get up and have a 3-goal lead. Then you'd probably play him some minutes, but that's kind of how I see it playing out for the Oilers for the next few games. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Woodley will be by at 3:20 today. Let's get to the oil report, brought to you by Go Auto. If you're looking for vehicles, cars, trucks, SUVs, they have over 15,000 to choose from. Okay, over 70 locations to help you out. That is goauto.ca, as we are joined by the host of Oilers Hockey, Gene Principe. Gino, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
Hey, Jason, I think I got a Nuge hangover, and I didn't even go to the after party. It was so amazing. I mean, he's an amazing guy, and I think his forever commitment to the Oilers is something that has won over everybody. It's easy to see sort of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins now doing what he's doing. First off, you got to be a player like him for fans to be loved as much as he is. But then throw in the commitment factor through those times where most players would have been happy to be traded or might have requested or suggested a trade. Instead, he had a great vision for himself and for the team and the community. And so it was nice to wrap it all up last night in a wonderful ceremony for him.
Yeah. It was great. And, you kind of got a front row seat of it, from the jerseys to the shirts that they made beforehand to mimicking Nugent Hopkins' warm-up routines. Little things like that are kind of funny, I find.
You know what? Listen, I don't see everybody else's ceremonies. Hello, Brownie, by the way. So I can't say, we say Edmonton does it. We know they do it great. People might argue who does it the best when it comes to ceremonies, but I don't know. I'm not sure what more you could or would do. I thought the warm up mimicking him was priceless. To me, that was between the baby powder, which I've seen him do so many times. I would do bench interviews before a game, and there he was putting the baby powder on the kind of the end of the hockey stick. And then, the stretch I hadn't really noticed per se because there's so many things going on in warm up, but I thought that was great. Brad Harrison coming up with a horse related 1,000 top was fantastic. And, having his buddies read the lineup. Yeah, it was a great night. And, once the ceremony's over, it is about hockey. And so for him to score, I think Zach Hyman mentioned it, and Jason, you were there. And then I saw the stat today of 1 of 10 people to score in game 1 and game 1,000 to be the game-winning goal. So, yeah, it was just a fabulous night. And kind of hidden in there was, back-to-back shutouts and back-to-back lopsided results and another shot at going after 3 in a row.
Gene, what do you think of Kapanen? I mean, he's played some of the best hockey that I've seen him play. How important is it for him to obviously continue with that, and what does that do for the Oilers?
Yeah, I agree, Sean. I mean, the odd time, I think Martin St. Louis was a guy that was on waivers at one point in his career, and I'm not saying that Kasperi Kapanen is Martin St. Louis, but there are players that find the right team, the right fit, and maybe they find a certain attitude that goes with multiple opportunities that you say, hey, listen, I'm not getting younger. I may not get many more opportunities, if any more. I'm playing on a team that gives me a shot to play with Draisaitl or McDavid or Nugent Hopkins or Zach Hyman. And I'm a dad now soon, and I'm married. So I think you put it all together, and that's what Kapanen has done. He's put it all together. So as Jason noted last night in talking to Chris Knobloch, or asking Chris, we did see him walk by as we were doing interviews, and he seemed certainly better than I last saw him. We all saw him when he kind of limped off the ice. So hopefully it's just a week or a few days or something kind of minor, I guess worst case through to the Olympic break. But boy, he really has helped fill out the top six.
Yeah, he's played very well. And, Zach Hyman's a guy who's he's only played 31 games this year. His first 11 games, he had 2 goals, 7 points. And he admitted that, his wrist mobility had taken a while. But, man, his last 20 games, he's the best goal scorer in the NHL with 17 goals in 20 games. And, he's scoring in lots of different ways. Obviously, he'll hammer pucks right from around the crease. But we saw a one-timer, which is rare from him last night. And, his game is really rounding into form here right now for the Oilers.
Wow, Jason, you couldn't be more right. And I think, Sean, and you've been through this, and I've heard you talk about injuries that you've had and then come back and play. I think one of the things I do is once I see a guy in a lineup, I think he's fine. Like, I think he's like Zach Hyman prior to the hit from Mason Marchment. And I think Jason and Sean, we realize now through what we've heard and what we saw originally, and you stated those numbers, Jason, that it wasn't Zach Hyman prior to getting hit by Mason Marchment. It was Zach Hyman recovering from the Mason Marchment hit, but recovered enough to play. And now we're seeing the guy I think he would be on the Olympic team if he hadn't been hurt and had it spill over to this season. Now, it almost feels to me, and I'm just like throwing stuff out there because of just an interest factor, but watching him play, it's like someone said to him or texted him, hey, listen, Braden Point's hurt. If he doesn't make it back, you are our guy, or you might be the guy. And again, I'm not saying that's happened, but there's a certain, way that he's carrying himself right now that almost is very similar, if not even better than when he had the 54-goal season. Because I don't think, Jason, and you're the numbers guy, I don't know if he had a stretch like this when he scored those 54 goals in the regular season. I mean, this is the best goal scoring I've seen from him as he and the Oilers move towards that Olympic break. And I love what was said on the panel last night with Craig McTavish and Bob Stauffer. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, you get black aces who skate and are there, and they're part of the team, but not fully part of them. They're around, they're available, they are gaining experience for whether it's something during that playoff or potential future playoffs. How lovely would it be to have Zach Hyman on your like taxi squad that would go over to Italy? Let's say it's a 4-man group of maybe 2 forwards, a defenseman, and let's say a goalie. I'm just kind of spitballing here. But what an inspiration he would be. The positivity that comes from Zach Hyman would only go to enhance and to be passed on between the Olympians. And if there is an injury, he doesn't have to fly over from wherever he might be during his Olympic break to get over there. And I'm not aware if there is such a thing as a little taxi squad, but if you had one, this guy would be in the front seat of it, because I think he would be phenomenal for the Olympic team to have a guy like that around.
Yeah, he's definitely making a case for himself. Another guy that's really stepped his game up and is playing very well is Emberson on the back end there. I love his physicality and I love his compete. What are you seeing?
I agree with both those points. We got a chance to, first of all, Ty's, one of those guys that I often speak to him more off camera. There aren't a lot of interview requests for Ty because he just goes about his business and plays his game. And he's on a D-core that if you're speaking to defensemen, chances are it's Darnell Nurse or Matthias Ekholm or Evan Bouchard would be, I guess, kind of the top 3 defensemen that would be requested. They are part of a group that then you go to or you go to Draisaitl, and you go to McDavid, and you go to Hyman, and you go to Nugent Hopkins. And so there's a lot of players that get, I guess, interview requests before Ty. I love talking to him. He's a wonderful guy, and I think he really understands his role, and he gives you a physical element. I don't know if he's at the point of being intimidating, but I think he's getting to the point where players will have to be careful of a clean hitting Ty Emberson. I mean, I like the way he plays the game, and he's not a lot of fun to play against. And so he's fitting in quite well. I mean, a lot was expected of him early once the Oilers got him from San Jose, but I think he's acquitted himself well through some of the challenges that have been there for that kind of 5th, 6th, 7th role. He's kind of, taken on all challengers, and there he is still playing and playing better.
Yeah, he's really kind of just calmed down his game just from experience. I'm sure Brownie can attest to that. The game just becomes a little bit more comfortable for you. He's not getting his hit as much this year than he was last year, so he's making plays a little bit quicker. He's also up the ice. Now, it's part of the Oilers breakout where if you have the left defenseman, the right defenseman now comes up to center ice and uses it as a bumper, but you just get moving more. He's in the offensive zone. He's never going to be a big offensive player, I don't think, but the physical part of his game, he's definitely, his timing, I think, is better this year. And then you throw in Stastny and Wallman, and it's a lot. Emberson's play has allowed the Oilers to kind of ease Jake Wallman back in, because Wallman admitted after his second game, he's like, yeah, I feel okay, but I'm not where I need to be after being out as long as he has. And I think that's a big advantage for the Oilers, is you can just kind of bring Wallman in slowly. The goaltending, Ingram and Jari, Gene, would you rotate? And they got 8 games left. Would they each play 4 for you before the Olympic break?
Yeah, it would be close to that, and I feel bad. I feel like maybe because I saw a wonderful feature on Hockey Day in Canada with Kyle Bukauskas and Calvin Pickard. I feel bad for Calvin in that. Listen, I know what his numbers are, but I also remember what he did for the Oilers in helping them get to the Stanley Cup Finals in both years, where there was a need for a relief, a guy to come out of the bullpen, to come off the bench, to come out of the room. So I don't know if Calvin will get some starts, but if he doesn't, I might go 5-3 for Jari, but I wouldn't be against 4-4. I think the way they're playing right now, and as the Oilers look to get on this run, right? Everyone's kind of been waiting for them to win 4 or 5 in a row, or go 6-1-1 or something like that. Whoever can allow that, I would have that happen. But for sure, I don't think I would play Ingram more than Jari, particularly coming off the injury that Jari had. He didn't play for a while. Then he's going to get another, whatever it is, 2.5 weeks off to 3 weeks. So I like your split. I'm good with that. I would go maybe one more possibly for Jari, depending on how things line up. But somewhere in there is, I think, the right split for those two guys heading into the break.
Gino, always good to catch up. You have yourself a wonderful day. We'll see you at the rink.
Sounds great. Nice to see you, Elise Brownie, and Happy New Year to all your viewers and listeners. I know I passed the Happy New Year deadline, so I apologize in advance.
Thanks, Gene. That is Gene Principe from Rogers. Sportsnet, nice guy. He'd probably get away with it. It's not many people. I always quietly say, if you don't like Gene Principe, I'm like, you might have to reevaluate. He's one of the nicest human beings going. His buddies did tell me that wasn't always the case, so that's great. When I was at his 50th birthday party, I learned lots of stories about it, but Gino's a pretty good guy. Really, genuinely nice guy.
I've always enjoyed Gene. Yeah. I enjoyed him being from Ontario when he was with Global. I used to watch him before I'd go to bed. He'd do the sports at night. And so when I came to Edmonton and had an opportunity to be around him, yeah, he's just as advertised, right? He's just one of the most genuinely nice guys, always got a smile on his face. He's kind of, for me, he's kind of like that Nugent Hopkins kind of, like some guys just have that ability and that about them where they're just easy to be around, right? And I don't know Nugent Hopkins all that well. I've been on the ice with him a little bit. But when I've been around him, it's kind of a similar feeling. Just give you that warm and fuzzy feeling, easy to be around.
Yeah. Quick break. We will return. We got Kevin Woodley coming up after 3 o'clock. We're going to talk more hockey. We got a lot of texts coming in on some football talk, so we'll touch on that and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Freezes, you wonder how anything can get done. And instead of staying outside in temperatures that would make a polar bear cry, you head inside where it's toasty and warm. But that's not what GS Construction does. Because while the ground freezes above, we plan below, rebuilding and revitalizing the systems that keep our communities working year after year. Now, don't worry. GS Construction promises to do everything safely and efficiently, and we'll wear our extra warm clothing outside. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
Hi, I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. We've been tightening bolts and redefining our industry for 25 years. Yes, a quarter century, and we're just getting started. Check us out at cantork.com. Our tools age better than I do.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
Five-time Junior Hockey League champions, the Spruce Grove Saints, are excited to be back on the ice at the brand new Thompson Family Arena. Be part of the action and enjoy some of the best junior hockey Canada has to offer by experiencing a Saints game for your next outing. Tickets range from $10 to $17 with free parking and some of the best food and drink specials in town. For more information on tickets and how you can become a partner, go to sgsaints.ca.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. My name is Tyler Smith, and you are never alone. NotAloneCo.com. It's okay to not be okay.
Do you listen to sports radio at work? Like right now? Well, do you?
Who, me? No way, I swear.
Okay, friend, we won't tell. Tens of thousands of sports fans listen to Sports 1440 each and every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. If you listen to Sports 1440 at work, well, maybe it's time to advertise on Sports 1440 at work. Grow your business, get your name out there. Shoot our ad team an email, Gregor@sports1440.ca. Let's get to work for you.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. Made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Rolling through Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. It's Monday afternoon. How are you, Jason Gregor? Connor Alley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having an awesome day as the Oilers are off today. And I think they actually have like their staff party. Maybe it was last night. Maybe it's tonight. It's one of the two nights. But they will take on the New Jersey Devils tomorrow. The Devils are in Calgary tonight. Then they play on the Penguins. The Penguins are in Calgary on Wednesday. Like all their next 4 games, they're facing a team on the third game in 4 nights and second half of a back-to-back. So some scheduling advantages. Dare to dream, Oiler fans. They might get a 3-game winning streak. They might. And most teams have at least 2. Now, them and the Blues have none. And my goodness, that Blues power play last night. Holy cow. Is it awful? Awful. Like, they didn't generate anything. There was never once where you're like, oh my God, what a great save the goalie had to make. Not even an average save the goalie had to make. Like, sometimes you'll have a power play and they don't score, but you're like, oh man, they're creating chances. They're moving it around. Crisp passes. And the penalty killers are swimming. Nothing. Honestly, last night, Brandon, that was the most anemic power play I think I've seen all year from a team that came to Edmonton.
Well, I think we're just so spoiled by the Oilers.
But even opposing ones, like everyone.
I love watching other teams and how they enter the zone, just, because McDavid just makes it look so easy, as he gets in the zone and then everything else that comes along with it. But yeah, it's hard to, some of the teams that come in here and some of their movement, I agree was not great. It was, I guess it was, what's the guy that got traded there? The forward. It looked like he came back from an injury there, from the Oilers to, oh God, can't think of his name right now. He was traded with the defenseman there. Oh my God.
Who are you talking about?
On St. Louis.
Dylan Holloway?
Holloway.
Oh,
yeah. Watching him there.
Did you notice him?
I actually did.
Oh.
I looked.
Yeah, he had the one.
I didn't think he was that bad. I mean, is he not just coming back from an injury?
Yeah, he missed 15 games.
Yeah, so I thought he actually looked pretty good.
No, he's been fine.
And Broberg looked.
Yeah, Broberg looks fine.
Yeah.
Holloway, last year he had an unreal year for the St. Louis Blues, right? 63 points. So, he's like a half a point a game player this year. He's got 17 points in the 34 games he played. Now he just sat out, as I mentioned, 15 games due to injury. So it's going to take him a while. But even before he got injured, he wasn't having the same season as before. Because it's hard, man. Like, lots of guys can have a year. It's hard to do it. And that's why the greats of the greats do it year after year. And you know what? They might have, and then a bad year is going from 100 points to 85 points. It's still a really good year comparatively, right? So it's hard. But the Blues there was no Robert Thomas last night. But I watched their power play and their puck moving, not even comparing it to, I'm comparing it to Vancouver. I compared to everybody else. There was nothing going on in that power play. And I talked to guys in St. Louis and it's been dreadful for a while. Like, I'm kind of curious to see what's going on here, but they got a power play isn't always about it's about how many scoring chances do you create? Like, how many times are you making the penalty killers have to move around? Well, you killed penalties, Brownie. That was the easiest penalty kill possible last night.
Yeah, no, you definitely, your penalty kill or power play, whether you're scoring, at least has to create some type of positive energy and momentum, right? And sometimes when, you're not feeling it as a player, and when you're feeling it, you're obviously seeing those small plays and you're zipping it around and you're making the high skilled plays. But when you're not feeling it and you're not seeing it, that the ability to kind of simplify and just kind of get it gritty and just get pucks to the net. On the other side too, there's nothing better as a PK guy that's, knows that, you're going against a team that's struggling on their power play. Passes aren't crisp, right? You're able to make, a few more reads. They're a little bit more predictable. So, that it definitely on that side of it, you're definitely enjoying it.
Yeah. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, Gregs, what do you make of that Vancouver San Jose trade today? Did San Jose overpay? No. Not at all. They gave up 2 second rounders, right? One this year, one the following year, and a mid-tier prospect who knows if he's going to play or not, for Kiefer Sherwood, who, this year he's got 17 goals. He had a great start, right? And then he's kind of, come back down to earth a little bit. I never expected him to be on pace to be a 40-goal scorer, even a 30-goal scorer, but he scored 19 goals last year. And this year he already has 17. So, you know what? Even sure, you can have a hot streak where I think he had 12 goals in his first 18 games or something like that. That wasn't going to be sustainable. Okay. So that's fair. But what is sustainable is his physicality. He's an excellent forechecker who gets in and can disrupt things. And he, he's a decent scorer. But if all he is a guy now who's going to score you 19 to 24 goals in that range, And so to me, that's going to be the key is what does San Jose pay him, right? He was a 40-point player last year. And now this year he's got 23 points in 44 games. Now he's still injured. That's what's unique about this. He might not play before the Olympic break. But San Jose didn't care. They're like, we want to get this guy because I think this isn't just for this season. I look at the San Jose Sharks, look up and down their roster. Look at their top 9 forwards. They don't have a lot of guys who are physical. You need to have diversity in your lineup. So the question, and they got a boatload of cap space. So what are they going to pay him? That's going to be the question mark. But because if you look at their wingers, they got Colin Graff, they got Eklund, they got Will Smith, they got Tyler Toffoli, they got Chernisov, and they got Regenda. Those are their top 9 wingers. They're kind of all the same. Now, Toffoli's a veteran, right? But William Eklund, good player, smaller. Will Smith, good player, smaller. Colin Graff, smaller college guy. Like, none of these guys are physical. You had to bring in a different type of player for your team. So I love this trade for the San Jose Sharks. And you know what? Sherwood's making $1.5 million. He probably gets up to $3.5 million. Right now, you don't want to go to $5 million on this guy, but he's never scored 20 goals. Now he probably will this year, right? But if I'm Mike Greer and the Sharks got a boatload of cap space, and in a way, they actually need to get, well, they're going to get to the floor, but the floor is now going to be $76 million next year. And I think the Sharks right now are at around 53 or 4. Celebrini and Smith they're coming in a few years. They're going to get bigger, especially Celebrini is going to get a massive raise, right? But you still got to fill out your roster, and they're not going to overspend to the ceiling yet, but you got to get to the floor. So I could see them paying this guy $3.5 million, maybe even 4. And I think it'll be fine. It's the term. That's going to be the question to me, right? Term is always a concern, right? Oilers fans know a little bit about that right now. Hello, Trent Frederick. But I don't mind this trade at all. I think this is a very good trade for San Jose. And hey, you get 2 second rounders for Kiefer Sherwood, who, you know what? He is only, like, if you counter at the other side, like, yeah, he's a 19 and 17 goal scorer. Like, how much more do you think you were going to get?
Yeah, it could be a win-win. I mean, I like what Mike Greer's doing. I mean, anytime you can get a guy, if you're saying he's a 20 to 24 goal scorer, that's really good in today's game. And the fact that you got to have guys that can check, guys that can skate, and guys that are comfortable doing that. And they're obviously, with the youth and the skill that they have, you got to have those guys that are going to be hard, uncomfortable, and create turnovers. So this trade looks like it could probably be a win for both sides, which is never a bad thing anyway.
Yeah, like now it's up to your amateur scouts to make the pick count, right? That's what, because I'll be honest, to even find a guy in the second round who becomes Kiefer Sherwood is going to be hard, right? Like, not every second round pick is just like a slam dunk knock. Okay, this guy's a guarantee. It's going to be in our lineup every night. Like, no, right? Like, and it took Kiefer Sherwood a few years to kind of find his way in the NHL. Right? He was, 30 years old? I think he's 30, right? Like, took him until he was 28, 29 to be a regular in the NHL. So it's not, and he was undrafted guy, right? Another classic example, late developer, right? Went to I think he didn't go to university till he's like 21. He wasn't even on the radar for anybody when he was 18, playing in the USHL. So, spent 3 years there, and then he just kind of grinded it out in the, up and down, would get a few cups of coffee with Anaheim, then he'd be back in the minors, then he'd be up and down, then he was with Colorado, then he went to Nashville and started to have a little bit of success in Nashville, and then they didn't want to sign him, and Vancouver says, okay, we'll sign you. And like, it was the perfect fit for him. He was physical. Rick Tocchet loved him. And that's like, when I see Kiefer Sherwood's success, and then I see Podkolzin, I'm like, like, I'd love to know what went wrong in the relationship between Podkolzin and Tocchet.
Yeah.
Because Podkolzin's not a fan of his, right? And I wonder why, because when I watch Podkolzin play, I'm like, this guy's like a perfect Rick Tocchet player. Just hard, grinds it out, and has got some decent offense.
It's funny when you talk about, guys that are undrafted, or just how you get in the good books of any coach, really, is, your ability to forecheck, create turnovers, play hard, compete, and just have that relentless energy. I mean, what coach in any league doesn't love a player like that? So for Sherwood to be able to find that little niche and to do the things that, all coaches love. And on the flip side, like you said, I mean, who wouldn't want Podkolzin? And I'm sure Rick Tocchet right now would love to have somebody like that, or if he could redo it, would love to have him in the lineup. It's just, the question to me is like, it's just funny with all the different teams. And that's why, as long as you have the passion as a hockey player, right? And you don't lose the willingness to put in the work, the drive, and you don't lose that, will to want to be a player. There's opportunity out there. You just have to hope that, you're going to get the break. And for whatever reason, he didn't get it. And certain guys don't get it with certain teams. They don't see it at whatever time. And sometimes it just could be other players are just in the way. But good on those guys. Those are feel-good stories that I like to hear, because it's never, there isn't a lot of McDavids out there, but there's a lot of guys that, like Hyman, Podkolzin, and we can all strive to be players like that, because that's more realistic, right? If you have a work ethic, and not that those guys don't have skill, but that compete and that grind, it's hard to find. There used to be a lot of those players. There seems to be becoming less and less of them, but there's a real need for those guys.
Oh, without question. Like, trust me. Look at Podkolzin here. Look at Kasperi Kapanen and his physical play alongside his skill and what it does. So you got Hyman on one line, you got Podkolzin on one line, and I think when everybody's healthy, might be better to have Kapanen on your third line.
I was just going to say
right?
that, yeah.
And because you could put Roslovic back with Draisaitl and Podkolzin. You have Kapanen on your third line with Nugent Hopkins. You just need a first line left winger, which is, to me, priority number one for the Oilers heading into the trade deadline. Get a scoring winger. That's what they need. You put a scoring winger, man, that fills out your roster very nicely. Then you know what? One of Savoy or Howard are probably on your third line. Probably Matt Savoy at this point, because he kills penalties, right? And then your fourth line is going to be combination of Frederick and Janmark and Lazar, and where's Henrique? I don't know. We'll see. But that's kind of how I see the team shaping up, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. And Trent Frederick's game is coming around slowly here. Like, maybe by the end of the year, he'll be what Connor Brown was 2 years ago, a guy who helped you down the stretch into the playoffs.
Well, I think Frederick will definitely find his game as he gets into the playoffs. I agree. He's finding a little bit, it's coming slowly. I think I really like Lazar's game. I think, his physicality and his confidence and the way he's playing right now, I think he's stepping it up. But I agree with you. If Kapanen is a guy that, what a skill set that he has. He's big, can skate, strong, he's physical. And I like the fact that, if he comes back and continues to play the way he's playing, he has, or they have the ability to move him to the second or third line, which is good. And you can kind of depend on how other guys are playing, or maybe who you need to maybe get going, or maybe the team that you're actually playing. I think that gives Coach Knobloch some options. But, he was a real interesting story for me, knowing that he was hurt. I wanted to see how he was going to come back, because he's got something that, so you can't teach size, right? And he moves so well. I'm glad to see that he's having success, and hopefully he can continue. And this is kind of a spot where, maybe like Gene said, this is the break that every player needs, and maybe he's got it.
Let's take a quick break. We'll return. Kevin Woodley's going to join us next hour. We got Tater, Dennis Bernstein, Speck, Susie Oregon. Talk a little football with Connor Halley as we get to a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter. LegacyHeating.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Trading in NHL today, the Vancouver Canucks are sending unrestricted free agent Kiefer Sherwood to the San Jose Sharks in exchange for defenseman Cole Clayton and 2 second-round picks in 2026-2027. Sherwood has 17 goals, 23 points in 44 games so far with the Canucks. We've got afternoon hockey as it is Martin Luther King Day down south. Avs and Caps tied at 1 apiece after 20 minutes. Earlier today, Kings knocked off the Sabres 2-1. Later on today, Penguins and Kraken. You got the Panthers and the Sharks. Wild in Toronto. Golden Knights host the Flyers. Jets in Chicago. Flames up against the Devils. And the Canucks host the Islanders. In the association right now, Thunder up on the Caps, 116-99. And the Clippers lead the Wizards 87-85. 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Earlier today, Bucks got past the Hawks 112-110. From the NFL, Buffalo Bills have fired head coach Sean McDermott after 9 seasons with the organization. He leaves Buffalo with a record of 98-50, 8-8 in the postseason, including 2 AFC Championship losses to the Kansas City Chiefs. And tough news for the Seattle Seahawks as they'll be without running back Zach Charbonnet after he suffered an ACL in their win over the Niners. yesterday. Seahawks host the Rams on Sunday in the NFC Championship. 2 games in the AJ tonight. Bobcats host the Grizzlies in Bonneville and Canmore. Both those games will start at 7. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by our goalie guru, Kevin Woodley from In Goal Magazine, and Ask 5 Questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Hear ye, hear ye! Dragon fruit has returned to Booster Juice! Prepare thyself for the legendary alchemy of the Dragon Slayer smoothie, Pink Dragon Booster Mixer, and Dragon Booster Ball.
Magnificent Monday afternoon. How are you? And
delicious tropical dragon.
How are you?
No dragons are harmed. Get thee to Booster Juice before dragon fruit vanishes once more.
60 years.
Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Connor Halley,
Hey,
Sean.
Did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that.
Sports
kind of
1440,
cash.
Sports
From major
1440.ca.
casino
It's
winners
Monday
every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province. There's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
If you're looking for nonstop sports coverage, tune into Sports 1440, Edmonton's only sports radio station.
24/7 coverage comes at you with expert commentary, in-depth analysis,
And so much more.
We are Sports 1440.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Happy New Year. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for everything in 2025. With your help and your support, we fed almost 500 families. We donated to various charities in the Edmonton area, and we're going to do it again in 2026. Please stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
New Year's resolutions. We all make them. We all say we're going to start eating healthier or going to the gym or starting that new hobby. But at GS Construction, we actually follow through on our New Year's resolution because it's the same every year. We promise to set the groundwork, literally, for another year of progress and growth. And we've stuck by that resolution since 1974. So start that all-you-can-eat diet. GS Construction is going to start planning right now for the year ahead. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 3 o'clock. Well, it looks like one of the coaching vacancies is filled in the National Football League. We'll tell you about that in a moment. Welcome back. It is the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, busy day in the National Hockey League and the NBA. Of course, you got afternoon games going on. The OKC Thunder just dominating another game, 136 to 104 right now. Man, when they win big as they win today handily. You got the NHL games, the Sabres losing a tight one, and really it was Boosie robbed them. They probably should have won that game. He made 2 unbelievable saves. You have the Capitals, Jacob Chychrun scoring again. There's another guy I thought had a really good chance to make Team Canada. Got his 18th goal. Parker Kelly has scored for the Avs, so they are tied at 1. You got 8 other games tonight, including the Devils, who will be in Edmonton tomorrow. They are taking on the Calgary Flames. Zach Whitecloud, who was acquired from Vegas over the weekend for Rasmus Andersson, and the Flames get a first rounder and a second rounder that could potentially become a first rounder if they win the cup. So. I guess let's get to that quickly. Brownie, what did you make of the Rasmus Andersson deal for Vegas? Basically, it came down to other teams were in the mix, but Andersson didn't want to sign an extension, so they backed off with what they were offering in return. Because if it's a sign and trade and you know you got the guy for 6-7 years, it makes a big difference. But Vegas said, no, we'll roll the dice. We're confident we can get him. They got Hanifin there. They don't have Pietrangelo anymore, but what do you make of this deal for Vegas?
I like Kelly McCrimmon and just how aggressive and confident he is on just being like, hey, we'll make the deal and we'll worry about it when you get here. And the confidence in what he has and his organization, I'm assuming on how they treat their players, how they treat their families, the playing for the city of Vegas and the team and the culture that he's created. He seems to think that, and he's probably not wrong. It's to me from the outside looking in, I mean, what a fantastic place to play. And if you have a young family or a family at all, knowing that you're on the road and your family's going to be there and in a comfortable environment and weather, I like it. I like it for both sides. Once again, I mean, this is
what would you pay Anderson though on a contract extension?
I don't know if I know enough about him that I would throw. I would throw, a lot at him. I do like him as a defenseman. He is aggressive. He's got a skill set and the aggression and his playmaking and his offensive ability, I think is good. I don't know the dollar amount to kind of compare him, to some of the bigger name defensemen that do make some of the top dollars. To me, he doesn't stick out to be one of those guys that I'm going to be like, wow, I'm going to throw a lot of money at this guy because he's a horse. He's big. He's uncomfortable.
He's a decent sized defenseman. He's like 6'1", 200 pounds.
Yeah, nothing.
So he's a good player, but I'm curious on what his his contract. Some people are talking like $9 million, and I'm like, what? Wow. No. Like that seems a little high to me. But that's, what people talk about in the offseason and what players get are obviously, very different. But look at like Noah Hanifin got what, 7.4, something like that from Vegas. And, Pietrangelo, he'll be on LTIR for 1 more year. So Vegas just spends over the cap anyway. But like Shea Theodore, like I know that Shea Theodore just signed that deal a few years ago and the cap has gone up, but he's like a 7 point, maybe he's 7.4 and Hanifin's just below him. I just don't know if I'm paying Anderson more than I'm paying Shea Theodore. So now if you get him at $7 million, then hey, then that's probably a really good deal. So it'll depend. I'm kind of curious on what contract they would offer.
Is he, like, to me, when you talk about Pietrangelo and some Hanifin, like, those are big guys that eat up big minutes. Like, they're uncomfortable to play against.
Yeah, Pietrangelo is for sure.
Yeah. So I just don't see him as a guy that, when you play against some of the top players and you're looking at making some of these deep runs, is he a guy that's going to, be able to be like a Parayko, that uncomfortable, consistent guy in a long playoff run? I'm not sure.
Yeah, we've never really seen it. Like the Flames have won 2 playoff series with him, right? Like he's a good defenseman. I guess we have a debate. Is he a top pair guy or is he a really good number 3, right? Like he's not a number 1 defenseman. He's probably, number 2, number 3, give or take, depending on which way you view it as. And I'll be kind of curious to see what they pay. But hey, Vegas is better now. There's no question, right? And they moved out Zach Whitecloud, who's definitely probably a little bit more physical. He's not as good offensively as Anderson. And I kind of like that trade for Calgary. Like you get Zach White, like, yeah, you're rebuilding here. So you weren't going to sign Anderson to a deal that made any sense to you. But Zach Whitecloud, I kind of like him for Calgary. And you got to make that pick hit for sure. But I don't mind this trade at all, really, for Calgary, where I look at where they are in their cycle, that I think Zach Whitecloud could be a solid player for them. Like he's not going to be better than Anderson, but he's not chopped liver. Like it's not like you just get rid of Anderson and you don't replace him with anything and you take a massive step back. Like you're getting an NHL defenseman who is probably a number 4 or number 5, right? Like he's definitely a number 4 in Calgary. He's probably a number 5 on a competitive team.
And I think you got to be careful. You got to make sure that you do bring in someone of quality, because you still have some really good pieces there and you got a really good goaltender in Wolf, and you want to make sure that you're bringing in guys, you're still competitive, and the environment and the culture is obviously important. I wonder now with that move, is there other moves with Calgary? They still have some other, Kadri, is he a valuable piece for a team? Like,
oh yeah,
like for the Edmonton Oilers, like, big, skates well, has some physical, has a physical skill set that I think could help, the Oilers on a forecheck, just getting to the front of the net and being uncomfortable. Is this the first of many? I'm not sure.
For the Flames, the Flames are going to make some moves here for sure. Like Blake Coleman's name has been out there for sure for them. Like it's funny, like Kadri, if you're Calgary, like you got to keep some guys around to teach your young players. I'm a big believer in that. Like when you go scorched earth and you just get rid of everybody, I think it's hard, right? Like, or at least then you bring in a guy like Tyler Toffoli, helps Celebrini and those guys. Right? He doesn't make them a better player per se, but he helps them maximize their abilities. Is kind of how I view it. So, and I don't think Jonathan Huberdeau's that guy for Calgary. Like they're kind of stuck with that contract. It's going to be an albatross. Not going to be very good, but White Cloud's like a physical player. He'll compete hard and he'll probably get more ice time in Calgary. Like he was thrilled for this. Like he looks at it from his vantage point. He's probably like, I'm going to get to play way more. And if I believe in myself, this is going to be an opportunity for me to show more. So, but I think Calgary, Coleman, I think for sure is a guy they move. Kadri, I'm not sure. It's going to depend on the ask. Although if teams are that desperate for a second line center, they might really overpay for him. So that's the advantage right now. There's lots of teams looking for a number 2 center. The Oilers aren't looking for Kadri. I don't think he's a fit at all in Edmonton, but teams that need a second line center, there's quite a few of them. And I think you might have to pay big bucks, right? And you're getting them with term. That's the advantage. If you acquire Kadri, you're not just getting him for 1 year. You're getting him for what? He's got 3 years after this. So now the last year might be a little dicey, maybe salary cap age. We'll see. But I think there's lots of positive there.
What about Kelly McCrimmon kind of getting on this early too? Like he doesn't seem to sit around and wait. And I think that, the balance or the risk factor of like waiting too long, where all of a sudden now the value, the cost becomes higher. I kind of like his strategy and his ability to kind of, what was it? Thomas Hertel, I think it was years ago from San Jose. You never really heard Hertel's name being, at least I didn't, mentioned in the trade market, and definitely not going to Vegas. He just seems to have this ability to call GMs and really have a good feel and understanding on the players that are out there, and seems to be the GM that seems to land the surprise big.
Well, he always goes in. Yeah, they're not afraid there for sure. There's there's no debating that. We mentioned it, and or we didn't mention it, but the Miami Dolphins have hired their new head coach. It's going to be Packers. Formerly the Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley is the new head coach, according to Ian Rappaport. So there you have it. There's one vacancy done. There's not a lot of offensive-minded head coaches. Lots of guys who are defensive coordinators. Now, I guess that doesn't mean they can't be good head coaches, but I still think, man, you got to have somebody. Like, if you're a defense, you better hire a great OC then, right? If you're a defensive-minded coach, I just don't think it wins. You need to have an offensive mind. And I know, like, a lot of these teams want to recycle coaches. You won a championship here. I'm like, yeah, okay. But no NFL coaches won a championship for 2 teams. Hasn't happened. So is that really the best way to go? Like, McDaniel didn't do great in Miami overall. He had some spurts, but those type of guys have he's got some experience. Now he goes somewhere else. Like, heck, look at Andy Reid. Andy Reid had a great career, hadn't won. Then he goes to KC and he wins a lot, right? So there's a little bit of, if coaches, I think when they win in one place, then they go somewhere else, they try to rebuild that thing. And it's hard. Like, every situation is different. So teams that are going to hire all the coaches that have won before, your odds aren't great that you're going to win with that guy just based on history.
It's that experience that's just so hard to overlook.
But get a guy with experience who hasn't won, right? Just because you won like 1 year out of 10 doesn't mean you're like some savant way more than the other guy, right?
Winning
like,
does
look at Paul Maurice. How many years did it take him to win?
Yeah, but I
25 years. He hadn't won anything. Hadn't even really been close till he went to Florida.
It's so different now that Paul Maurice now that he's won. You handle yourself different. You come across different.
Yeah, but my point was when they hired him, he hadn't won.
Yeah,
right. He hadn't won. He had a lot of experience. Now he probably never had a team he had the one Jets team that was maybe close. Right. So a lot of things come together. He comes there. Oh, geez, I got Barkov. I got Bobrovsky. Oh, geez, I got Kachuk. I got Bannon. I got Reinhardt. I got a pretty good team. So, it makes you look better. But there's a reason why it's hard to win in one place and then go somewhere else. And everybody chases it. I get it. It's not saying I would never give a guy who's won a cup a chance. But when there's other ones out there, I'd look and say, okay, are we going to hire the older, like, we got to have a guy who's, if you're going to go, I'd rather go with an Andy Reid who hasn't won, but's been close, than a guy who won once and think of the guy who won once is suddenly better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to have the horses. Any good coach is definitely going to have the top end players and needs the guys around them to be a good coach as well. But when you've won, to me, when you're just speaking at a different language and it comes across better. And, I don't know what it's like to win, but when you've won something and you've been through the grind, whether in any sport, you come across different, your message is different. It's obviously more believable. I was actually just shocked to see how, some of these teams, the Bills there, that they got rid of that Sean McDermott, like, to me, it was like, it's that close.
Oh yeah.
It's that close. Mm-hmm. You lost your job. When how much of an effect did he really have? We all know about the interception and some of the plays. It's just amazing to me that we didn't win. God, you're done. The whole hire to be fired is wow. What a job and what uncertainty that job comes with is crazy.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like it's hard. Like it's hard to win, and sometimes, like, what, right place, right time. You need a little bit of luck. There's no question about it. You need a little bit of luck sometimes to win. And, like, let's say hypothetically the Patriots win this year, right? If Bo Nix doesn't get injured, do they even win, like, the conference final? We'll see. Now, they still got to win it, but who's not picking the Patriots right now? I'm sure diehard Bronco fans are like, go Broncos, but even if you're the most diehard Bronco fan, Connor Halley, you got to be a little concerned about your chances of winning this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, Jarrett Stidham hasn't played much in his NFL career. Like, there's not too much where you can go back and say, like, this is why we should win. Bo Nix, love him or hate him. I mean, I think he missed some throws in that game, but he still made big plays with his legs that, probably got them that victory. So, yeah, it's absolutely a tough loss. Gregor, just going back to it, though, you kind of talked about hiring a guy who's won before. I don't know if you can say that as a blatant statement because Andy Reid, almost won with the Eagles against the Patriots, right? Like, what if they win that game? You'd still go and hire Andy Reid, right? Like, if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you got to hire the best candidate possible. So I'd be okay with hiring a former Super Bowl winner if they're the best candidate. I'm not going to go look at Mike McCarthy and say, yeah, this is the guy, he's going to win. Not in 2026. But if there was a guy who's won a Super Bowl and is still a good candidate, maybe it is Tomlin. I mean, I don't think it would deter it from me because Dick Vermeil would be another one who didn't win a Super Bowl, got close.
Yeah.
If that game goes different, I think the greatest show on turf still wants him to win that Super Bowl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, you like, and like I look at the year the St. Louis Blues won the Cup, right? Like they got a lot of things that just kind of came together in a 6-month span. Really, 6 months. And awesome for Craig Berube, right? It was fantastic. He won. What will he ever get close again? We'll see, right? Like Toronto's starting to find their way now a little bit, but it's just difficult from place to place. We mentioned, Florida, Paul Maurice. Look at how many years he coached, man. And he had lost in the Cup final a few times, right? But and then didn't really get close for long periods of time either. So, Glenn Sather was in Edmonton, had unreal success, went to New York, couldn't do the same thing, right? Gretzky couldn't win elsewhere. Like it's hard. So I'm very curious about this hiring cycle. Like I'll say this, I think right now the Bills head coach who just got fired is got to be one of the most intriguing ones because he's been close, but he didn't win, right? So he's still like, oh my God, I learned a lot. I was close. And like if I'm another team that's out there like
Vegas.
Yeah, but see, Vegas is so far away.
I would be calling him immediately.
Yeah, well, I get why they would, but they're just so damn far away from winning, right? Like,
that's fair.
If you're him, don't you want to go to like Pittsburgh or Baltimore?
Yeah,
right. Like teams
Baltimore
that are close,
for sure would be tempting,
right? Like Lamar Jackson. Hey, right, a little different, but.
Well, what about someone going for the Bills? Like they're right there, going into a new stadium.
Oh yeah, no, that's going to be an attractive one, but. I don't know, so Harbaugh's already been hired by the Giants. Tomlin's not going to coach this year. So they'll have
Is he just saying that?
No. I think he's taking the year.
Really?
Yeah, he'll get paid.
Somebody's going to throw a bunch of money.
He'll get paid a lot of money to be an analyst and not have nearly that much stress. Like, trust me. He will enjoy that very nicely. We'll come back. Kevin Woodley is going to join us here on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. We'll talk goaltending. The Devils in a world of trouble. The Penguins playing pretty well. The Capitals. We'll get into all that and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
They are nice, tasting just so right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
When picking a New Year's resolution, try to avoid things you have no influence over.
Like bringing home the cup? That would be awesome.
But completely outside your control. Instead, pick something you can control, like bringing home some Wilhauk beef jerky.
That would also be awesome. But what if we brought the cup home to Canada and it was filled with Wilhauk beef jerky?
Okay, I'll allow it.
Wilhauk beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't win cups with salad.
Vinny and Don in Hockey are dedicated to skill development for all hockey players. If you know a student athlete interested in growing as a person and a player, register for a free shadow day. Beginner or experienced, this program develops a student athlete skill in a supportive environment. It's a great opportunity for prospective student athletes entering grades 3 through 12 to see what Vinny and Donnan have to offer. Visit vinnyridge.epsb.ca or donnan.epsb.ca for more info and to sign up.
Does your New Year's resolution include saving money? Then don't miss the store-wide inventory clearance at the Brick. Save up to 70% off in-store clearance items. Buy more, save more on bedroom and dining furniture. Up to 25% off. Save on select major kitchen appliances. Plus, buy 2 or more and save the tax. Finally, a resolution you can keep. The Brick, saving you more. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV.
This is the time of year people make their New Year's resolutions. If they're lucky, they'll keep that up till February. So I propose another resolution. This year, resolve to be camp ready. Now, what do I mean by that? At Noble RV, camp ready means never wondering if your RV will be ready for May long weekend. You know it'll be ready because you made the decision back in the winter. You know now.
Is Camp Ready something I can get from Noble RV?
That's right, Bob. Camp Ready is our 12-month RV maintenance plan. It includes winterization in the fall, startup in the spring, roof assessments every year, and all your scheduled maintenance. So when you want to get to the great outdoors, you already know you're Camp Ready.
How do I get to be Camp Ready, Rick?
We're starting small, Bob. Just 67 Camp Ready plans are available at Noble right now.
And that's Noble.
NobleRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.328, welcome back. Gregor, Brown, Connor, Halley, Sports 1440, Sports 1440. Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having yourselves a lovely, lovely Monday. Of course, a busy day in the NHL and the NBA due to Martin Luther King Day in the United States. So lots of matinee games. The Avs taking on the Washington Capitals, who will be here on Saturday. Of course, the Caps, pretty busy week. They'll be playing 4th and 6, 3rd and 4, second half of back-to-back like all the other teams. The Oilers have a chance here to go on a decent run this week. We'll see. So looking at the Oilers schedule, it's time to talk a little goaltending as we go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. Take action on your savings. If you've been thinking about it, don't wait any longer. Solar on your home or your commercial building can save you a lot of money. Get some grants and more. actionelectrical.net. Reach out and they can help you out. So, let's see. Looking at lots of things. Hey, Gregor, 1,000 points is 1,000 points. If Nuge gets in, how many guys with 1,000 points in a ring aren't in the Hall of Fame? Well, let's go through it. Vincent Damphus, Rod Brindamore, Theron Fleury, Alex Kovalev, Patrick Elias, Ryan Getzlav. Yeah. So, and just because you win a cup and you're on a cup team doesn't mean like you're a Hall of Famer to me. And just like if you don't win a cup doesn't mean you're not a Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer is more an individual award. And how many forwards are in the Hall of Fame outside? And I don't want to use the original 6 era. They played fewer games, all that stuff. But how many guys in the last 50 years are in the Hall of Fame who are forwards and who have had one season of 70 more points? Like, you got to be realistic. You can't just be like, I love Nuge. You could love the Nuge. Great player. He's going to be in the Oilers Ring of Honor. He just had 1,000. He's going to get so many honors and all deserving. But that doesn't mean he's Hall of Famer. It's two different things. As Kevin Woodley now from In Goal Magazine and NHL.com joins us. Woodley, how you doing, my man?
I've had a day, buddy. I've had a day.
Oh, yeah? In a car accident or what?
No, not me, but I've just had a day, buddy. And so obviously Kiefer Sherwood, a lot of things going on, a lot of moving parts here. So I'm in the car. I'm settled. We're calm now. So yeah, it's all good. There's a lot of going on here in Vancouver right now. I also got a chance to watch your Oilers goaltenders on the weekend. So I've got some impressions of them I can share as we go forward here.
Oh yeah, well let's start with that. Connor Ingram has made 8 quality starts out of his 9 games, and in those 8 starts, he has a .934 and a 1.72 goals against average. He's been really good. Tristan Jarry has yet to lose in regulation. He's 4-0-1. He didn't have an overly busy night in Vancouver on Saturday, but he still stopped 31 shots. And hey, anytime you get a shutout, that's pretty darn good. What do you make of the Oiler goalies thus far?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, best situation. Like Connor Ingram right now, since he's joined the team, and I ran some of these numbers since the trade, like he is fourth in the entire National Hockey League in adjusted save percentage. Like he isn't just playing really well by Oilers standards, but as much as it is a small sample and it's a really good environment, he came into a team that corrected some of their defensive miscues early in the season. He's been really good. Tristan Jarry, from a personal viewing the other night, like just his second game back, obviously he had the shutout. You're right. He wasn't super busy. There wasn't a ton of high danger chances. As a matter of fact, writing the game up on press row was like we were sort of trying to find highlight reel, like what were the tough saves in this moment as we describe his first shutout with the Oilers. But there were some scrambles around the net, and I really liked his battle level. And I know that sounds cliche, but when you look at loose pucks in and around the net, it's busy back there. But he uses his stick. He's active. He'll kick pucks out. He does not lose his balance over his knees, even in those moments. Like the amount of times where he's totally out of it, his willingness to kick a puck out, in a scramble battle, kick it away from danger, to use an active stick to swipe it away without, again, getting pitched forward, getting himself, spread out. I liked it. Again, it was one of those things that the Canucks didn't do much, but they got a lot of traffic in a couple spots around that net. Well, the game was still in question before the Oilers pulled away in the second period, especially after the second goal. There was a sequence there were like 3 or 4 sort of pucks around the net that he just managed it really well. And so, we used to talk about Skinner pitching forward and sort of having one save and then being out of the play. That's something that you don't see out of Tristan Jarry. So there's some differences in their styles. But when you see how well they're both playing, and I'd actually add a third. Again, I know we've talked about it, and he's in a tough spot here, but Calvin Pickard's numbers have been really good ever since the trade as well. So they're in the position. They've gone from not being able to figure out one goalie to having 3 good options right now.
So Jarry, we all know that he plays the puck extremely well. You've had a chance to watch Connor Ingram. What do you think of his playmaking ability outside of the net with the puck?
Ooh, I'm going to be honest, Sean. I haven't paid special attention to it compared to Jarry, so I don't want to speak out of turn or blow any smoke here. Jarry's pretty good with it, right? Obviously, we know he can chuck it. If you ever have a chance, grab his stick off the rack and give it a flex. It's insane. I've never seen a goalie stick with this much flex in the blade. It's so crazy that I actually have one at home from his Pittsburgh days because they had a pro return sale locally, and I'm like, I've never seen anything like this. It's probably like a 75 flex. I didn't even know they did that for goalies. And I've tried it. You're thinking like with that whip, you could just sort of give just a little bit of push with the wrist and it would just pop off there. I can't even use it. It's like a wet noodle. So that's one of the interesting things about the way he plays the puck and the unique nature of it. I don't think Ingram handles it as much or as aggressively as Jarry, but I don't want to say that out of turn because it wasn't something I was really dialed in. Last night was sort of one eye on the game. So I don't want to make that. Honestly, I just don't want to make that comparison without having really deep dived it.
Kev, let's look at some teams coming in. The New Jersey Devils, and they're in a world of hurt. Just how they're playing overall as a team collectively, and goaltending obviously falls into that category. What do you make of the Devils? Because, man, they started out like a house on fire, right? They had an 8-game winning streak in October. They lost their opening game, and then they won 8 in a row, and everyone's like, oh, yeah, the Devils, man, they're a team to beat. And the Devils have not been very good for the last 25 games at all. Well, how much of that is goaltending? How much of that is team defense? Or is it just an even combination of both?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. I don't know if it's team defense, although it hasn't been as sturdy as it was, like that sort of Sheldon Keefe bump that we talked about last year in terms of taking a skilled team and getting them to defend hasn't been as prevalent this year. Both guys have environments that are below league average since December 1st. Both guys themselves, like their performance relative to environment is below expected. So neither guy sort of jumps off the table there. Markstrom had a terrible start. Jake Allen had a really good start. Like on the season as a whole, Jake Allen's numbers aren't bad at all. Like they're fine. As a matter of fact, they're kind of flirting with, top 10, 11th, 12th. Like they're right there with Igor Shesterkin on the season as a whole. But over the last 6 weeks, neither guy has been great. Now, Markstrom's numbers they took a beating in that 9-0 game. Leading up to that game, they were better, but again, it just speaks to the inconsistency. I think when you see him play, and look for this when he's there, there's just a level of aggression and like explosiveness, but not always in a positive way, right? Like there's a lot of reactive element to his game where he's getting extended, he's opening up. He'll make some highlight reel saves, but anytime you sort of see yourself lunging and pushing as aggressively, like that's a hard way to play the game physically. It's a hard way to play the game in terms of maintaining consistency, and it's tough on the body. Again, overall, Jake Allen's season has been fine, but it was better at the beginning, and it's dropped off here of late. At a time where they need their goaltending to sort of carry them, neither guy really has.
You talk about New Jersey struggling. What about Ottawa? I mean, they seem to be a team that is struggling. They got players calling out goalies. I mean, they bring in James Reimer. What's a realistic expectation that we can expect from a goalie that's, obviously getting a little bit older in his career?
Yeah, I kind of was wondering what the weight was. Like James was skating in Kelowna throughout. Intention was to play. He went over to the Spangler early. He played some games with a pro team over there. I know that's not the National Hockey League. But once they signed him, I thought they'd get him in there quicker just because of the struggles of their other guys. And you guys know what I said about Connor Ingram, right? Like, do not judge him based on how it's going in the American Hockey League. He's going to be better in the NHL once you get him up here. And that's kind of proven true. If Ottawa was watching James Reimer in practice and not playing him because of that, then I would suggest they made a mistake there. I would have found a way to get him in earlier than they did. I thought as much as they lost in overtime the other night with him in net, and there were a couple shots that beat him clean, off the rush, through traffic, things that are going to take a little time for him to get his timing on. That team is good defensively. And you give him, the earlier you get him started and get a chance to adjust to it, he will give you NHL baseline goaltending or better. And that is a massive upgrade on what they've been getting. I come in here a lot, guys, and defend the goalie union. I look at the numbers, and if they say terrible environment, goalie can only do so much, I'd say it a lot. That's not the case here. Like, especially sort of, and December 1st is still sort of where I'm splitting the season right now. They weren't exceptional defensively out of the gate. They weren't terrible. But since December 1st, they've been one of the better defensive teams in the entire league, and they're just not getting safe. Merilainen is a guy that a lot of goalie scouts, when I looked around the league, had in the top 10 as an up-and-coming goalie. He had a great season last year. Hasn't gone that way this year. It's clearly snowballed in the wrong direction. They need to find a way to just get him back in the American Hockey League for a little while. Talent is there, but clearly wasn't ready for the amount they needed him this year. Get Reimer in there, get him playing until you get Linus Ullmark back, and go with more veterans down the stretch. This is on the goaltending, guys. It needs to be better.
Kevin Woodley from Ingo Magazine, NHL.com joins us. You mentioned the Oiler numbers. Stu Skinner's numbers in Pittsburgh look pretty good. Obviously the first game against Edmonton wasn't great, but since then his numbers are really good. Actually, since Ingram got recalled and he's been in 9 games, Stuart Skinner has the best goals against average of any goalie who's played at least 6 games and the second best save percentage. What do you make of his play? And now he's also, I don't think he's played back to back. They're just on a complete rotation.
Yeah, with Artur Shilovs, who it sounds like might have been somebody the Oilers considered this summer as well, interestingly enough. Listen, full credit to Ingram and what he's done, full credit to Calvin Pickard and what he's done since the trade. I don't think that many people have noticed how good Stuart Skinner has been. So good on you guys I've been paying attention to this one for a little bit, and he keeps building on it. It looks like the changes that were made here are starting to pay off for him there. It is hard to see in the raw numbers. I mean, his expected is only 876, so it's been a tougher defensive environment in Pittsburgh than the way it finished up for him in Edmonton. But he's just, after a couple early hiccups, and that's understandable given the adjustment required, not just on the ice to new systems, new teammates and tendencies, but off the ice too, in terms of your whole life having to pick it up and move it to the other side of the country. He's been really good. I'm looking forward to catching up with him when they come through town here this week. But you're right. Like, it's kind of one of those everybody's winning trades. Because like you said, with Jari's injury, you got a chance to bring Ingram up. He's been good. Jari's been good. Stuart Skinner deserves a tip of the cap. I think a lot of people thought he would just go disappear in Pittsburgh, and he hasn't. He's kind of raised his hand and raised his game as to say, hey, like I'm an option here. I'm heading into an unrestricted free agency year, and I can play. So good for him. Good for the Penguins, who I don't think a lot of people thought would hang around as long as they have. I do think there's probably a different pressure level, as much as playing behind a Crosby-led team comes with pressure of its own, because he's there to win and win only. In terms of the outside pressure and the attention on it, it's probably, I'm guessing, been a bit of a load off for him, and he just gets to go out there and play now.
Kev, what about Washington? Logan Thompson since December 1st is 6-8-3. He's played a lot more games. Like it's not a close to a split. It's like a 3-1 split. 17 games for him, 6 for Charlie Lindgren. And Lindgren's numbers aren't very good. Sub 900 save percentage, above 3 goals against average. Logan Thompson's still pretty good at 913, 268. How's that environment in Washington? Is he keeping them in games?
The environment has gotten, like last year, I thought they leaned on their goaltending pretty heavily. It was better at the start of the season, but it's kind of fallen off. And I haven't looked. I mean, obviously the big injuries we know about in terms of Tom Wilson being out of the lineup. I haven't looked at their back end. I think Chikrin might be out right now, but it's gotten tougher. Like Logan Thompson's expected is 877 in the stretch. Sort of December on, when you talk about how he's played of late, and he's still outperforming it, but not at the level he was earlier this season. And I wonder how much of that, because you're right, Lindgren is struggling significantly in comparison, and he's a guy who had been really good for them the first 3 years of that contract. Does that put more pressure and more minutes on Logan Thompson into a role that he's a little less familiar with? They just haven't been as good overall as a team. And then when I look at the underlying numbers, sort of that's overall at both ends of the ice. We talk a lot about defensive environment, but when you're not scoring, pressure ratchets up as well. So this is one, as much as I was willing to blame the goalies in Ottawa, I think this is a little bit of everything going on with the Washington Capitals, where Thompson's still outperforming it, but not at that stopping bullets in his teeth, top of the league level. More of a, still good number one starter level, but not to the point where you're like, hey, this guy has to be on Team Canada. This guy should be a Vezina finalist. He's still a finalist. His numbers overall in the season are great, but for the last little while, it hasn't been at that top of the league level.
Kevin Woodley from Ingo Magazine and NHL.com joins us. Kevin, the month of January, there's 6 teams who have allowed 4 goals or more per game. The Rangers without Shesterkin look awful. The Flyers, Dan Vladar misses a few games, and we see what happens. The Canucks, we've watched them play. The Sharks haven't been a good defensive team all year long. But the Florida Panthers have also allowed 4. What do you make of the Panthers? I know Kachuk's coming back tonight, but Sergei Bobrovsky's season, if you look at the numbers, it's not great. What do you make of Bob and the Panthers, and his because he's got it, like no one's even talking about it. He has an 875 save percentage on the season for the Panthers. Are they that bad defensively, or is he just struggling?
He's struggling. His expected save percentage is 887, with just a hair below league average. Okay. Maybe this is age, and I mean, listen, the guy's back-to-back Stanley Cup winner. Maybe that catches up to you, but when I compare his environment, it's only 2 points better than Jordan Binnington, and his results are only 1 point better. Like Binnington is 73rd in the NHL in adjusted save percentage. Sergei Bobrovsky is 72nd. Sam Montembeault is 71st. Sam Ersson is 74th. So, like, that is not an area. You're right. Like, think of the headlines around Jordan Binnington's season and the attention it's gotten, even though he made Team Canada. Sergei Bobrovsky is essentially having the same season, and I'm with you. We haven't heard much about it. Now, part of this is that, like, there's regular season Bob and there's playoff Bob. Like, he's been below expected for 3 straight years now. Not to this degree, but below expected for 3 straight years in the regular season. And in the playoffs, you can't beat him. The question this year, it's fallen so far off, is do they get to the playoffs if he doesn't start playing better? Now, one of the interesting answers is Daniel Tarasov is quietly 16th in the entire NHL with an adjusted save percentage that is tied with Connor Hellebuck and Scott Wedgwood. So there's a reclamation project on on behalf of the Florida Panthers. Like I always say, if you're looking for goalies to pick up, pay attention to who the Florida Panthers go after. Daniel Tarasoff, Brandon Bussey, who got claimed off waivers, Florida had him, was sending him to the minors. Carolina claimed him. He's been a great story there. Daniel Tarasoff is a good story. Bobrovsky is a story on the other end of the spectrum that a lot of people, I'm with you, just aren't paying attention to. He's been bad, just like Jordan Binnington. He has not been anywhere near the standard of what we know he can play at.
Interesting. One last one for you, from me, Kev. When you look at here we are, like the Oilers have the 3 goalies. I think, well, we saw them use it to their advantage. Ingram stayed home and in Edmonton. And I asked him, he goes, "Did you notice a difference?" He's like, "Well, I don't know yet." Like, but he didn't see like, "Oh man, I was way more refreshed than had he gone on the road trip," is what he told me. But he says, it probably makes a little bit of a difference. With Jari being injured twice this year and the Olympic break coming up and Ingram playing exceptionally well, I see zero reason that the final 8 games shouldn't just be split even between the two of them. Where do you come in on the rest factor and the fact that like they're both playing well? And Ingram arguably better.
Yeah. The only downside is you lose Calvin Pickard, right? But like there's a veteran. Like this has been tough on him because he's playing well, right? Like he knows he's been playing better in the past month, and this is just a situation he finds himself in. So I like that part's tough, but it's pro sports. I get it. And like as popular as he is in that room, like I cheer for that guy too, right? So that's the only tough part of that. But as far as those two, just looking at those two, I'm with you. Like, why not just go into a rotation? Both guys want to play. And to me, when both guys want to play and they're both playing well, the next best thing from playing every game, which every goalie wants, is playing every second game. And don't make it on performance, right? Like this position's got enough pressure. Like the winning you're in, it just drives me. I mean, there are moments for it. This is not one. Especially like you don't want a guy being like, "Oh man, I'm playing great." Like Pickard. Like you don't want your 2 guys going like, "Oh man, I'm playing great tonight, but we're losing. I might not get back in if the other guy goes on a roll." And so I'm with you. It makes sense. You're seeing teams, talked about Skinner and Shelovs. You're seeing other teams do this with success. Again, it's not the ideal rhythm, but in a busy season especially, it's the next best thing. And we can go all the way back to San Jose doing it with Nabokov under Ron Wilson and Vesa Toskala all the way through March of an entire season until I think Toskala got hurt. Both guys wanted to be the guy, and this is back when guys were playing 60, 70 games as starters. They both wanted to be that 60, 70 game guy. But short of that, with both guys playing well, they admitted that was the next best thing. And I think quite often you fall into that cliche, "Oh, if you've got 2 number ones, you don't have a number one." Well, that's especially given what we've seen with workloads changing in this season, this schedule. I'm with you. I think it's a great idea. Go back and forth, remove all the extra stuff, remove all the extra pressure. Just let them go out there and play, knowing that, hey, good game, bad game, they're going to be in there 2 nights later.
Yeah. Kev, great stuff, buddy. I appreciate it. Enjoy the week, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
There you go. That's Kevin Woodley from Ingo Magazine and NHL.com. We'll come back. 5 questions with Gregor, Brown, and Hallie. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game, use the promo code Gregor, and get all sorts of great deals. But also every day at PlayAlberta.ca, you can, of course, play casino, sports, lottery, instants, and more. PlayAlberta.ca.
If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. No payments and no interest for 1 year of your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth. Fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text VALUE to 780-777-7777 to start. That's VALUE to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you. Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
Hey, Edmonton. Did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So when you wake up to no heat,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
if you need it immediately with no overtime rates, if you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get 3 large specialty pizzas for only $54.99. Perfect for game night. Use promo code 3LG at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$3.53 as we get to 5 questions. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Hey, did your New Year's resolution include saving money? Well, then don't miss the store-wide inventory clearance right now in the Brick. 70% off in-store clearance items. Also, you can get up to 20% off kitchen major appliances and more at the Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys. Question number 1. As we sit right now, are you more confident in an Ingram-Gary duo than you would have been with Skinner and Pickard going into the playoffs?
Go ahead. That's a good question. Neither has any playoff experience. So what you do in the regular season is great. What are they going to do in the playoffs? So that I would say as a tandem, yes. I think the tandem gives me a better chance, but it's not like it's massively there simply because there's not a playoff track record of success yet. Doesn't mean they can't have one, but that's why I'm like slightly, but not infinitely more.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I mean, Jari's had a ton of success, in different areas of his career. As long as he can, the only thing that concerns me about Jari is just, staying healthy. Connor Ingram is obviously doing well in a small sample size. I still, Pickard has come here and done exactly what he's had to do and was brought in here to do. So I still think there's still room and an opportunity for him to be here. But, I think a lot of this is just going to come down to how healthy Jari can stay.
Question number 2 for you guys. Over the weekend, we saw maybe what some people would call a faux pas, goaltending getting called out post-game interviews. Are you okay with that when it happens?
I'm not. I think there's lots of opportunity to behind closed doors to have a conversation with a teammate. I don't think anything positive comes from calling out a guy on television where, you know, you have to air your dirty laundry. I think at the end of the day, every player, you know, isn't perfect either. And there's going to be times where, you know, defense forwards, you know, they're going to have their struggles. And I don't think it's a spot to kind of air out your emotions. I think it's something that, for me, would probably create a little disconnect in the room. So I don't see any. I don't know why you'd ever want to do that.
I don't have a real big problem with it. Guys will go in post game. Oh, this guy's a great player. He's not a great player, but he says he's a great player, and everybody thinks it's okay. So I don't put much stock into something like that. He said, "Hey, you know what? I made some saves. Truth is, you need more than 10 saves a night, and that's a fact. And when your season save percentage is .857, sorry, you got to play better. And if I don't view that as calling him out, he was asked a question, he answered the question. Was he going to lie and say, "Oh, I thought he played great"? What's he supposed to say? We can't get mad at people for telling the truth. Their goaltending's terrible. It's the worst that we've seen in decades. So we're just supposed to pretend it's great? Sorry. I don't have a problem. I don't even think it was that harsh. He's like, he even started by, hey, you know, he made some saves. We just need more than 10 saves a night. It wasn't mean, wasn't loud. It was just a statement of fact. And everybody's so thin-skinned now that you can't tell the truth. So I don't have a problem with telling the truth.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
That pisses me off.
Well, that's okay. It can't piss you off. But
there's nothing. There's what?
So how should you answer the question?
Well, it's just, yeah.
Should you lie and look like an idiot?
Absolutely. Dance around it a little bit. For sure. What good comes out of it? I mean, it's a team sport too. You know, like I guarantee you.
But goaltending on a nightly basis is letting them down.
And he's not wrong. He's not wrong by saying they're letting him down. But I think that's a coach. That's a management thing. You're a player.
Yeah.
Right? Get behind your teammates.
Yeah.
I guarantee I'm sure I would hope to think that goalie had a conversation.
But this is like 25 games in. He hasn't said anything until game.
That's not his. He's a player. It's not your job. It's not. That's not.
I never get mad at guys for answering a question. Honestly, you can disagree with how he answered it, but you also said, but he told the truth. Did he tell the truth? I'm never going to get mad if your kid. What is the number one thing parents tell their kids? If you tell the truth, you're never in as much trouble as if you lie. And I know that you're compounding your lies.
But if you're a player in a team in that environment, I would be pissed. If that was one of my teammates, I would definitely be having.
So maybe piss him off so he plays better.
Well, I just think there's other ways of doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you can't call him out. Absolutely, call a guy out, but just do it. I don't think I need to hear it or you need to hear it. No one else needs to hear it, but the guy that you're having the trouble with, and it should be behind closed doors.
All right.
1 through 4.
No, NFC's 1 and 2. So I'll say Seahawks, Rams, Patriots, and Broncos are probably number 8 out of 4 now because unfortunately no quarterback.
Ooh, so there's so many injuries, and I'm not the biggest NFL person out there, but I'll go with Patriots, Rams.
But you're obviously going Seahawks ahead of the Broncos. They're starting quarterbacks out.
Yeah. What did I
Yeah. So you have Seahawks 3rd. You love the Patriots, don't you? You're like a secret Patriots fan, aren't you?
Why? Yeah. Why not?
Okay.
You know what? I'm
fair.
happy that they're having success since Brady's gone. Right. I mean, they were a team. They were the team.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad turnaround for an organization, is it not?
Yeah. Well, 7-8 years, kind of like a rebuild, really. Right?
Yeah.
So no, not bad at all.
There.
Still too soon.
Cons, who do you have ranked?
I would go Seahawks, Rams, Patriots, Broncos.
Yeah, okay.
I think the NFC right now is so much stronger with it. The Seahawks looked unbelievable. Question number 4 for you guys. PlayAlberta.ca has the Hoosiers as the 7.5-point favorite. They take on the U tonight. Of course, Miami Hurricanes in the national championship. Who would be your pick to win, including the spread?
I'm still taking Indiana, man. They've dominated everybody all year long. So so basically they got to win by 8.
Yeah.
I will take them to cover tonight.
Are you watching the game?
No, it's my mother-in-law's birthday party, so I will not be watching.
Oh, okay.
But I'll watch highlights. But I don't. I'm I'm not like Declan's our huge college football guy, right? Like he'll be watching all the games. Like I would, you know what? Well, dinner might be over. I might get to watch like if the fourth quarter's close, right? I would probably turn it on to see by then.
You going out to eat?
No, hosting at our house.
Oh, nice. So who's cooking?
No one. We're ordering it.
Well, I'll go Indiana. You know what? It was actually nice when we were in Palm Springs there. It was nice to watch, you know, how Americans are with the NFL and how excited they get. I mean, it was nice to be at an outdoor bar, nice weather, watching it. And, you know, the typical American fans were right into it and loud. And so it was kind of cool.
Final question for you guys. Actress Katie Sagal turns 72 years old today. She's played a lot of moms on TV, like Jatz's mom, among all my Married with Children, tons of them. Anywho, with that being said, who are your favorite 3 moms on television?
I'll go Renee, is it Zellweger? And Jerry Maguire.
Oh, all right. All right.
That was a nice one.
Okay.
The lady that you just said, is that the lady that was in American Pie?
No.
Oh yeah, she was on. She was Al Bundy's wife there.
Yeah.
So I'll go. What's that Stifler's mom there?
She.
What's that?
You know, I guess I didn't say good moms, but Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh, that's classic. That's awesome. Okay. Yeah. And who's your third one?
I don't know. I guess I will. I don't know. I'll go with what is it? Peggy Bundy, the lady you were just saying.
Oh, yeah.
There.
Okay. Peggy. I'm gonna go Claire Huxtable off of the Cosby Show. She I thought was a pretty good mom.
Are we just going like good mums or?
Yeah, any mom. Who is your favorite mom on TV?
Oh,
I like Claire.
Okay.
Now obviously can it be movies too, Cons?
Sure, why not?
Right. Well, I'm kind of like, as I get older now, I kind of view it differently, right? But you know, I liked Family Ties. Can't remember her name right now. I think it was Jane, but just because she was funny, Sophia on the Golden Girls, she had the best lines.
Oh, that was good.
She was ruthless. So I'll go with Sophia. Cons, what about you?
Yeah, I'll take Claire Dunphy from Modern Family.
Oh, yeah, good one.
Loves Halloween, so got to give her credit for that. It's a cartoon, but Peggy Hill from King of the Hill. Everyone should have the confidence that she has in herself, even if you're wrong all the time. She's just extremely confident. And then I got to go Lois from Malcolm in the Middle. I've said before I hated her as a kid, but then you get older and you realize all she had to go through with those kids and her husband.
So she liked
pretty good TV mom. She snapped and like it made for good comedy.
That's true. Yeah, Elise Keaton is who I was remembering from Family Ties. What's the actress's name? I don't know. Something Meredith or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember. Justin Bateman, Michael Fox are all in, but I think it's Meredith. Maybe
Meredith Baxter.
There we go. So all right. So yeah, there's lots of good ones, right? Lots of good options, but and Sophia was funny in Golden Girls. Like, just great one-liners. Hilarious.
Just really shaming all of them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. She was awesome. Brownie wouldn't have liked her because, he would have said, can you say that off screen, please?
I didn't mind the Golden Girls with the clean, nice. I was surprised with your Huxtable there. The Cosbys.
Claire was great.
Yeah, I thought we were kind of going with like kind of pretty moms. What about the Little House on the Prairie?
Well, I just remember Laura and Mary, but I don't even know what Mrs. Ingalls' name was. Charles was the dad, but I don't even know what the mom was. Honestly, I can't remember.
She was
she was nenever one of the you saw her a little bit in the show, but she wasn't really Charles was normally the main one, or obviously a half pint, right? Yeah. Laura Ingalls was a fair. And then what's her name? Nellie. Oh yeah, she was not very nice. Brownie. Have yourself the Oilers. Are they going to win 3 in a row? Are they going to win tomorrow night?
Yeah, let's say I think they will. I think with the depth, I think Connor will get his game back. Not that he lost it. I mean, he's been absolutely terrific. He just didn't score on some of the opportunities. So yeah, I'll say yeah.
All right. Okay. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. More than just tires. Vehicle repairs, oil changes, they do it all. Keep your vehicle on the road, fountaintire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Trade in NHL today, the Vancouver Canucks have sent a pending free agent, Kiefer Sherwood, to the San Jose Sharks in exchange for Cole Clayton and 2 second-round picks. Sherwood has 17 goals, 23 points in 44 games this season. On the ice, couple games going on right now. Obviously, the Capitals 3-2 after 40, and early on in the second, Penguins up on the Kraken 2-1. Earlier today, it was the Sabres falling to the Hurricanes 2-1. Later today, you've got the Panthers and the Sharks, Wild in Toronto, Golden Knights up against the Flyers, the Jets in Chicago, Flames host the Devils, Canucks up against the Islanders, and the Rangers taking on the Anaheim Ducks. In the association, at halftime, Spurs up on the Jazz 61-57. Wembanyama with 21 points in that one. And in the second quarter, Mavs up on the Knicks 55-36. Earlier today, Bucks victorious over the Hawks 112-110. Thunder get past the Cavs 136-104. And the Wizards fall at home for the Clippers 110-106. From the NFL, Buffalo Bills firing head coach Sean McDermott after 9 seasons with the organizations. The Dolphins close to hiring Jeff Hafley, the former Green Bay Packers defensive coordinator. And brutal news for the Seahawks, they'll be without running back Zach Charbonnet as he suffered a torn ACL in their win over the Niners yesterday. 2 games in the AJ tonight. Bobcats host the Grizzlies while Bonnieville is in Canmore. Both games will start at 7. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll hear Cam Tate's 2-minute warning and be joined by Dennis Bernstein from the 4th period. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
A pizza from Papa John's.
Just after 3 o'clock.
But you know what's
Well, it
even
looks like
better?
one of
2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium one
all
topping
that and more on
pizza
the
for
Gregor Show
only
within that
$6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your
Gregor,
family,
Brown,
your team,
Connor
or
Halley,
yourself,
Sports 1440.
get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 one-top medium when you order any large
By
specialty at
PlayAlberta.ca.
regular
Hey.
menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Legacy Heating and Cooling sucks. Yeah, Legacy can now suck your ducts with professional duct cleaning, furnace cleaning, and dryer vent cleaning.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
When you need the filth sucked from your air ducts.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
When you want cleaner air for your family.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Legacy now offers air duct cleaning. Book in today. Just call Legacy.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business, committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Sleep is for the off-season. What off-season? Sports 1440 is live, loud, and locked 24/7. Oilers, Elks, Riverhawks, Stingers, Oil Kings. We've got your picks. Edmonton's home for sports is Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Rolling through. Busy Monday, man. Today's flying by, probably because we got live sports going on in studio, some NBA, some NHL action. Of course, it is Martin Luther King Day down south. So away we go. The Gregor Show is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Lotto Max tomorrow, $15 million. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. The Edmonton Oilers having a day off today after back-to-back shutouts on Saturday and Sunday. They'll take on the Devils, who are in Calgary tonight. They play the Devils tomorrow. Then they got the Penguins. Stuart Skinner returns to Edmonton on Thursday. Then Ovi. Will it be his last game in Edmonton? There's some rumblings. Maybe he's going to retire. I hope not, but we shall see. Coming up, Dennis Bernstein's going to join us. We'll talk all things NHL. Also, the LA Kings are struggling. Is their coach on the hot seat? They need to make a coaching change. They just don't have the talent. What is going on in Los Angeles? Because if you haven't noticed, the Edmonton Oilers in Vegas, no surprise, they've created quite a bit of separation now in the Pacific Division. Vegas has 60 points. Edmonton has 58. Seattle's at 51. San Jose's at 51. Anaheim and LA also at 51. Now, those teams have some game in hand because the Oilers have played the most games in the National Hockey League. Vegas will make up a few of those games before the Olympic break. But games in hand are nice, but it also means you've got a condensed schedule. I've talked about this loss. I've looked at it. I've written it at Oilers Nation. The Oilers schedule pretty good now for their final 32 games. They only play 3 games where they are playing their third game in 4 nights. The rest of the season, only 3. Their next 4 games, their opponents are all playing third game in 4 nights and second half of a back-to-back. So the Oilers definitely have the schedule advantage on this homestand. Now it's up to them to take advantage of it, but they definitely have the scheduling advantage here on this homestand. And maybe they can win 3 in a row. Who knows? 4, maybe 5. Dare to dream. Dare to dream, Oiler fans. We'll see if they get there. Let's get to the 2-minute warning now. Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. Cam Tate, longtime journalist in town. Cam, born with cerebral palsy, he's in a wheelchair. He's never let him slow him down. He's always wanted to be in radio. And now, through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning.
You know, the Edmonton Oilers have been around since 1972. Started as a founding team of the World Hockey Association, then joined the NHL in '79. And here's something that'll blow your mind. According to Wikipedia, by the end of the 2022-23 season, 600 players had suited up for the Oilers. That's 539 skaters, your forwards and defensemen, plus 61 goalies. 600 players. And yet, only one guy has played all 1,000 of his NHL games with the Edmonton Oilers. 1. We saw it last night when Ryan Nugent-Hopkins hit that milestone. Drafted by Edmonton back in 2011, the guy they call Nuge scored his first NHL goal on October 11th of that same year. And then, he just kept showing up. Head down, no complaining, just getting the job done, day after day, season after season. Now look, we all know, especially in recent weeks, about the incredible play of Connor McDavid. And with absolutely no disrespect to McDavid, I decided to ask the question, is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins actually the face of the Edmonton Oilers? So we threw up a poll on X, or Twitter, whatever you want to call it these days, and set a new record with over 700 votes. 33.7% said yes. 66.3% said no. Pretty clear, right? Nugent-Hopkins isn't the face of the Oilers. But from where I sit, I think he's certainly the team's heart. 2-minute warning. Gregor, Haley, Kruger, who told me he stayed in an 8-star hotel on the weekend. Penthouse Suite says there was a hole in the roof, and he counted 8 stars. Me, Tater, Sports, 1440.
Sounds like Deck's dream vacation for sure. You know what? There's lots of excitement around Nugent-Hopkins, and rightfully so. It's you know what? He's a player that fans have. He's stuck around. You know, like Baby Nuge from day one. You know what? He's fought a few times, which I think resonates with some fan base and done pretty well. Not the flashiest guy, but yes, wisely people voted no. He's not the face of the franchise. Come on. He's a really good player, and is deserving of all of the love that he received last night. There's no question about it. He's a very integral piece of the team. I would be interested in if the Oilers won the cup. I think McDavid would probably hand it to Nuge first because of seniority, right? And Draisaitl wouldn't care. He won the cup. That's all they care about. They don't really care who gets it first. But I think they'd probably hand it to Nugent Hopkins for longevity first. I would think at that point, and away you go. So he's meant a lot to the franchise. We've had a lot of texts from people who think the Oilers should change their rules, that he should have his jersey retired. I'm not one of them. I'm going to say that right now. I'm not one. Without rules, there's anarchy. And right now, I think it's a little bit of an emotional one, right? We had a lot of people saying, well, suggesting that, hey, if he gets to 1,000 points, he should be a Hall of Famer. I'm like, I don't think you realize how many Hall of Famers or non-Hall of Famers have over 1,000 points, right? There's like 20 guys. Some guys have over 1,200 points, aren't in the Hall of Fame. Like Bernie Nichols had a 150-point season. He had 70 goals, not in the Hall of Fame, right? Vinny Danfus had a really good career, right? Over 1,200 points, not in the Hall of Fame. So, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins will, without question, lock, guaranteed, be in the Oilers' Ring of Honor. No doubt in my mind. Now, could the organization in however many years and after Nugent-Hopkins retire, would they change the rule for the jersey? They might, but I don't think it would be a wise decision. I really don't. I think if you make that your decision, that, you know what, after Al Hamilton, they said, hey, from now on, guys whose jerseys are retired, you're going to be in the Hall of Fame. So it creates less conflict and discussion over people that are very close, right? Because a generation before would have said, hey, Ryan Smith should have his jersey retired. Many people thought he should. And understandable so. And now it's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. So I get it. But for me, I wouldn't change the rule. I love that. Now, other organizations, if I'm running my company, just because other companies do something, it doesn't mean I have to run my company that way. Right? So you look at it, and it's good to have strict rules for something like jersey retirement is supposed to be for the best of the best. Right? That's what it's for. So,
could you see a situation, Gregor, where, like, let's say 20 years down the road, Nuge is long gone, he's in the Oilers Hall of Fame, someone wants 93, where they just politely say no? Or do you think, like, maybe 94 is in that category too, where it's like, you know what, we're not going to issue that one. It's not officially retired, but that's Nuge. That's Smitty.
It's a good question. I don't like, first of all, 93 became, that's Nugent Hopkins, it's your birth year. That kind of became a thing now, right? So I wonder in 20 years, will it be, still in to wear the high 90 numbers?
Yeah, it's a good
right?
point.
Like, honestly, because they were never real, like Gretzky had 99, but no one else wore like 91 or 92, not very often. Kids like 97's McDavid, 87's Crosby, birth years. So who knows? Like, by the time in 20 years, it might be, well, I want to be 27 because that's the year I was born, for instance. Right. So, yeah, I don't. And honestly, like, if I'm Ryan Nugent Hopkins and my jersey isn't retired and there's a player who wants to wear it, it's probably going to be a pretty decent player. That's probably the way I would look at it. Right. Like, I remember Taylor Hall, Kevin Lowe said you can wear number 4. So I don't see Nugent Hopkins. Maybe out of respect, the kid would ask, but I would guess that he'd probably wear 93.
I mean, like, other sport, but look at 88 with the Cowboys. Like, it's an honor to wear that, right? I don't think they've ever had any issues with retiring it. They let Des wear it after the playmaker, now CD Lamb. So I kind of like that too, where it's like, yeah, we think this highly of you. Wear the number. Represent it well, though.
Yeah, sure. I don't mind that at all. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we got a lot of text flying in. I love it. 833-401-1440, 1440. We have Dennis Bernstein will join us from the fourth period, because we saw, and sometimes all it takes is one. We've seen our first coaching change. Will we see more? And what about trades? We just saw Anderson get traded from Calgary. If you missed it, Anderson, of course, going to Vegas. Today, Kiefer Sherwood is traded for 2 second rounders and a young prospect. Goes to San Jose. The Sharks, no contract extension, but I would be very surprised if they don't sign him, because you just look at what does San Jose miss in their top 9 wingers? They don't have anybody who's physical. They don't. They have a lot of smaller forwards, and they're looking. You got to have different dimensions to your team. I think that Kiefer Sherwood will re-sign in San Jose, and I think he'll probably come in around a Trent Frederick type of contract. I heard some people talking about 5.5, and I'm like, 5.5 is a real big stretch here. Like, for why? He might score 25 goals this year, but he's also 30. And then he scored 19. So even if you do the average, like that's a 22 goal score. Am I paying that guy $5.5 million bucks? Now the Sharks could. On a 3-year deal, maybe. But if it's a long-term deal, I don't think there's any chance. So we'll see. Quick break. We'll come back. Bernstein joins us on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 1-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Planning your next event? Let Loca Quality Market cater. From made-to-order meals to gourmet platters to full chef tasting experiences, they make entertaining effortless. Visit loca.ca to start planning today.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text check to 780-777-7777. That's check to 780 all 7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
Does your New Year's resolution include saving money? Then don't miss the store-wide inventory clearance at the Brig. Save up to 70% off in-store clearance items. Buy more, save more on bedroom and dining furniture, up to 25% off. Save on select major kitchen appliances. Plus, buy 2 or more and save the tax. Finally, a resolution you can keep. The Brick, saving you more. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details.
Measles outbreaks are occurring in Canada, including Alberta. These outbreaks are highly preventable. Measles is an extremely contagious disease that is spread easily through the air. The best way to protect yourself, your family, and your community is to ensure you are up to date with your immunizations. Don't get measles. Get immunized. Visit alberta.ca/measles to find out if you're up to date and what to do if you're not. A message from the Government of Alberta.
For Arcelli hockey fans, your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan for all your residential water needs. Your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles, Culligan.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
.426. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely Monday afternoon. Probably had a good weekend. Well, unless you were, well, that's what's funny. Imagine being a Broncos fan. Like, you won the game. You're so excited. And literally moments after the game, you're like, ugh, our quarterback's out. Like, I'm trying to think of another scenario that I can recall that happening, because he finished the game, right? Like, he was on the field. It's not like we saw him have to get carted off the field. Wasn't even really limping that much off the field. So that's just brutal. Absolutely brutal. Like, Cons, can you think of a time where you win a big game and like, there's been teams that lost a player beforehand that we knew got hurt, and you're like, oh, that's a tough one. But I can't think of a game where you lost, everyone celebrated, and then literally a few minutes afterwards go, we're going to have surgery on our ankle for Bo Nix. Like, Bronco fans must be like, pardon? What? They're hitting refresh? That can't be right. We just won. Like, that would suck, man. That'd be brutal.
I thought it was a fake Schefter account. I was like, no way. He was fine. And then you go back and you see the limping. No, nothing really comes to mind. The Sam Darnold injury that popped up, but that's not right after a game or anything like that. Like, it immediately took the wind out of the sails for Broncos fans. Because with Bo, you got a chance. It's going to be a lot tougher now.
Oh, way tougher. Way tougher. Let's go around the NHL. Brought to you by McDonald's. And hey, if you're out in Sherwood Park, McDonald's on 590 Baseline Road, guess what? They're going through a big renovation coming up in a few weeks. So stop in beforehand and you'll get a discount card that you can use at any other Sherwood Park McDonald's after February 2nd. So there you go. So you'll get to pay for your slight inconvenience of that location not being open. They'll get you savings at the other one. Check it out right now at McDonald's. As we welcome in our good friend of the show from the fourth period, Dennis Bernstein joins us. DB, how you doing, my man?
Never better. I'm a Rams fan. Of course I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Let's go, Jason.
Oh, that was a close game. Now, let's be honest, DB. Oh. When you watch, like, that's one of the greatest scrambles I've ever seen. Right?
I have no confidence in my team. None. Yeah. It was over. Like, that shows the testament to that team, what they did and how they came back. But, Jason, probably the best play ever.
Yeah.
40 yards on a dime. The guy went back 25 yards and threw the ball. It was an incredible game, but that sport makes us all crazy, Jason, so for sure.
Oh, buddy. It was like, we were talking about it earlier. Like, imagine being a Broncos fan. You're jubilant, you won, and then 3 minutes later, you're like, what? Like, what's happening? Like, that would be brutal. It's like, the Kings win the conference final, and 2 minutes after, they're like, Drew Doughty's out for the Cup final. You're like, what? Like, it's brutal.
And Jason, imagine this. Imagine if Sam Darnold's oblique gets worse, and you have Jason Stidham against Drew Lock in the Super Bowl. It could happen. Who knows?
Well, hey, man, the Seahawks looked really good. What a great start for them. Them and the Rams. That'll be a hell of a game. The NFC, it's not surprising, really. Seahawks beat the 49ers, and now it's the Rams and the Seahawks. Two of the NFC West teams in the NFC Championship is probably fitting this year. The LA Kings, all of a sudden, the Kings, the Sharks, the Ducks, the Kraken, they all got 51 points. The Kings are in a little bit of free fall mode here, DB. What's gone wrong?
Well, other than Vegas and Edmonton, you know what this division is? I call it a dog's breakfast. It's a mess. It's not good hockey. The Sharks are a playoff spot. They're a minus 20 goal differential. What's going on with the Kings? Where do you want to start? I'll start where most fans don't start, which is not with Ceci and Dumoulin. They're the 4th best defensive team in the league. They're 30th in scoring. They're 27th on the power play. Here's the problem, Jason. I'm going to break it down for you. How do you win in this league? Two of the generational players in Edmonton are centers. Let's talk about the Kings centers. Yeah. The second overall pick has 9 goals. The second line center right now, because Kopitar is out, is playing out of position. He's a winger. The third line center is the 5th overall pick. He has 3 goals. The 4th line center is a project center who has, I believe, 5 goals in 72 games. And you wonder why they can't score? That's why they can't score, Jason, because on Ken Holland, poor asset management, it's a bunch of crap. I ran through the numbers. Like, this is on Rob Blake, totally, and he's not here anymore, so he doesn't have to own it, right? You go through the drafting and development of this team where you don't, like, example, if you waived Ceci and Dumoulin today, they'd be claimed. You know who 2 guys would be called next? Or would be Kyle Burrows and I think Otto Salim. Who? Like, there's no depth on this organization, Jason. So, and not only that, but look, it's been tough here, right? I think there's 18 one-goal losses, and if you add in the empty net goals, it's 23 one-goal losses. They've lost 12 games when they're tied after 2 periods. So you can lay this on the players, but you got to lay it on the coach as well, Jason. So it's an organizational failure. And not only that, when Kopitar leaves next season, who's the second-line center behind Byfield? It's a mess. And the only thing propping up, Jason, is the division. Like, if any other year, they'd be out of it. Hiller might be out of a job, but I don't never advocate. This is their families involved, people's livelihood. I'm never going to say fire a coach. But what's propping this team up are the teams that you just mentioned. They're not any good. None of them are good. So I think that's the issue. But it's solely, I mean, it's 95% scoring with respect to the Kings.
Yeah, and that's, that's kind of been an issue, for a while. Now, obviously Moore's out and then Kopitar is out. So you're a team that can score, and then you lose 2 of your top 6 forwards. Well, that obviously it's going to put the problem on even a bigger microscope. So if you're Ken Holland, like, do you swing and try to go add somebody right now? Or like, what do you think you do between now and the deadline?
Well, I wouldn't go crazy. I wouldn't trade for 3 players. I wouldn't trade my 1st round pick. Probably not going to trade for a rental or Greentree, who's their number 1 prospect, right? Well, I'll give you the name. It's been surfacing. Evander Kane. Imagine that, Evander Kane. And I've asked around about Evander Kane, and people kind of soft pedal it. But, Jason, you really talk to, you've been in the press box for years. You talk to scouts.
Yeah.
And this is what one scout told me. I was in Vegas for the Marner reunion the other day. I said, what do you think about Evander Kane in LA? He said one sentence to me. He goes, Kenny loves size. So I wouldn't discount it that much, but are they going to go out and, trade for Artemi Panarin and give up 3 assets? Why would you? Look at the team. What would Panarin do? Yeah, it would help the offense. Absolutely. He would excite people. And Jason, the biggest issue the Kings have, and they better be concerned about it, is I don't stay in the press box between periods. I go down to the concourse. I hang out. I talk to the fans. More than anything this season, they are bored. It's terrible product to watch.
Yeah.
And I say to people that are season ticket holders, if this was your first game, would you come back? And you know what the answer is a lot of times? It's no. It's boring hockey that the paradigm has to shift. So Kenny Holland's work isn't at the trade deadline. It's in the off season. How do you change the paradigm here? Because that check for your chances style that basically Todd brought in 2019, Jason, it doesn't work anymore. It's not entertaining. It doesn't sell tickets. Like, if you won and didn't sell, it'd be fine. But you're not winning. You're not selling tickets, and it's a boring watch. There's a lot of issues here in Los Angeles, unfortunately.
And I really thought, like, Jim Hiller, I didn't think he was going to change it that much. They're not overly more offensive with him. Now, we can argue chicken and the egg. Do they have the offensive guys to play that way? But you don't know if you don't play offensive, right? Like, it's really hard for guys to play offensive if you don't give them the leeway and start to attack that way, right? Like, I still think, man, Byfield could produce more points than he is. Now, maybe I'm wrong. You see him way more than me, DB. Like, what do you make? Is Byfield not producing because of the system, or is he a guy who still just doesn't know how to produce consistently?
Well, the one thing I'll say about Byfield, he's got a long-term contract, but he doesn't have any trade protection. He's 23 years old. Not the same advocate trading him. Jason, the people that can't see us on video, I'm pointing at my head. It's in his head. He's got all the talent. Because last year, Columbus, highlight reel goals, like in the play, like it's in his head because you know what? The worst thing about the way Byfield's playing, he shows glimpses and flashes, and you know it's in him. But he's got 9 goals. He doesn't shoot the puck. He'd rather go between his legs and try a hero play than shoot the puck from 5 feet away. Like, it's in his head. He's got to do it. And maybe it's still lingering from Game 4 last year. Maybe that's still lingering, Jason. But it's in his head. Like, he needs to come back. He needs to be, you wouldn't talk – when you want to be an elite center, who are the elite centers? Jack Eichel, Mark Scheifele, Austin Matthews. Because they're, you know what? They're dogs. They carry the team. And maybe he's been too deferential. Like, he should be carrying this team. Kopitar this year, Jason, he should have been the role that Joe Thornton was when he was at the end of his career, a 3C. It would have been a great team. He's got it in him. He's got to let it go. He's got to be, he's got to be an elite player. He's got to be a dog. He's got to come in and change his mindset. If he does that, then he has hope. But when I talk to executives all the time, and I said, well, next year they'll need a 2C. He goes, Dennis, a 1C scores a point a game, minimum 70. Byfield's on a pace for 45. Guess what? Kings might need a 1C next year. And that's a challenge for Quentin Byfield going into the next season. He really has to play and produce like a 1C.
Yeah, for sure. Dennis Bernstein joins us. How's Corey Perry looked all year?
Great. He's great. He's the same guy. He just plays that straightforward. The injury to start the season, he's been fantastic. I grade him out probably a B this season only because he's been injured. It's the only reason he's not an A. But what you see is what you get with Corey, a straight line player. He goes to the net. The other night in Dallas, when they had an issue in beef, he dropped the gloves because this team, to be honest, is kind of soft, Jason, to be honest with you. And all the fans could probably agree with me, and you can as well. So he's been great. He's been absolutely great. And the guy who's also been great, who's finally coming back from injury, Joel Armia has been fantastic. Okay. So when the people want to criticize CeCe and Dumoulin acquisitions, they never talk about Armia and Perry. They have been fantastic. Their combined cap hit, I think, is $4.5 million. Both those players have been great. Corey's been great. He's been great in the room. He's been a leader. He leads by example the way he plays.
Yeah, CeCe's numbers are never going to look great, especially on a team that doesn't score, right? You're a defensive-minded defenseman. It's funny that, hey, if CeCe wasn't on the team, I'm like, yeah, but that's not going to limit you from scoring. Like, they don't score when he's off the ice, right?
He's a sixth defenseman. Right, yeah. He's a sixth defenseman. Compare him to others. Don't compare him to Cale Makar, please. Compare him to other sixth defensemen in this league. He'll come out favorably. That's it. And for the people that want to, who left the team was Gavrikov and Spence. Okay, let's talk about Gavrikov and Spence. Have you seen Gavrikov's numbers since Adam Fox got hurt? I have. Yes. Last 11 games, 1 goal, -11. Adam Fox propped them up. Jordan Spence, he's playing third pair. His numbers are all over the place. And they might look at another option in third pair in Ottawa on the right side. So to say if they kept these guys, no, I'm sorry. It's the scoring, right? So they're going to have to address it. I don't know how they do it in the offseason, Jason, because here's the thing. If you're Panarin and you go to free agency and you come in, you look at a roster, and our style is we check for chances. Do you think there's any way this guy's going to sign here? Never. And that's a challenge. That's why the paradigm has to shift here.
And that's why I was wondering, do you think they would look and say, okay, if we're thinking big picture, because Panarin might be the only big free agent who makes it to free agency, because most of the other ones have already signed. So, and I'm not even sure he will, but if that's your choice, and LA does have an advantage. It's a city, it's nice weather, there's lots of perks there, no question. But you would have to have a coach in place. So okay, I know how we're doing. And that's where I wonder, although the risk, or not the risk, but the challenge of if you fire a coach midseason is, a lot of the best candidates, you don't get to interview, right? You can do it in the offseason if there's an assistant coach you like. So the Kings might be better off just to wait. Or I guess you let go of the coach, you just promote your assistant, so he holds the chair for 3 months.
Couple things on that, Jason. When the fans do hashtag fire Heller, teams don't care. They don't care. No. They don't care. They care about the paying people, not you sitting at your home and doing hashtag fire Taylor. Here's what look, I asked around. Here's the situation. Unless the bottom falls out of this team, where they have a losing streak like Vancouver, Jim Hiller isn't going to be fired. And if you think you might pull the trigger on him, if they do that, well, who would be the assistant? DJ Smith. But DJ Smith is Todd McClellan, is Trent Yarney. You'd have to get, and he's the defense. You'd have to, because of the loyalty, you'd probably have to get rid of them both. And then it leaves you with Newell Brown, who runs the offense that's 30th in scoring. So they're not changing the coach as much as some of the fans want it. And I'll say this one thing about Jim Hiller, and it's not going to be nice. His behavior in post-game press conferences, when I asked him what your team has lost 12 of 17, what are you going to do to turn it around? He says, you know what, we're playing well. We're playing fine. And look, we talk about the Rams. I'm a big fan of Sean McVay. They won a great game last night. What's the first thing he did? I need to be better. Jim never takes accountability. He's never once said this season, I need to be better. My team needs to be better. I need to coach better. Because when you lose that many games in the third period, you're probably not making the right moves regardless of the roster. There's been no accountability. I think that's the biggest critique I have for Jim, other than his coach, is that he has to take more accountability, and he hasn't all season.
Well, I was going to ask you about their, the Kings, just when it comes to goals for and goals against in the they're not getting crushed in the third period when you look total at 49-43. But lately they have been, right? So on the season, no, but if you look in their last 20, 15 games, then yes, they have been. What are they just collapsing? Or other teams attacking? What's been the problem? Or is it a combination, different things every game?
They can't make one more play, Jason. That's it. They can't make one more play. There's not one guy that can make a play in the room. Like the other night in Anaheim, it's one goal against Anaheim. They give up 6 goals a game. One goal. There's nobody to make a play. So how is it the scheme? It has to be some of the scheme. You can't lay it all on the players 100%. So that's it. It's the ability, because if they won 6 of those games, we're not even having a conversation. They're probably in third place comfortably. They might be challenging Vegas for the top. It's so and fans rag on they are that close, Jason, but they can't do it. They can't do it. So is it a confidence issue? It has to be. When you walk in a room after all these 1-goal losses, there's a lot of long faces, right? So it's a confidence issue. So I think part of it is players, part of it is scheme, and part of it is certainly a lack of confidence because it's the same game every night, Jason. It is. It's literally the same game every night. They're close. Like Dallas, 1-1 in the third. Jason Robinson throws a backhand pass that bounces 5 tons in front of net and goes behind Darcy Kemper, and they lose the game 3-1. So what happens every night now? It's been happening for the last month to 6 weeks, and it's weighing on this team. The season's slipping away, but they don't want to admit it.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting to see where the Kings are going because, Kopitar, this is last year. Obviously, Dennis, it's probably not the way it's going to go. Now, me personally, I don't love the year-long announcements of a final season. Just personally, I don't. But, he's been banged up, so maybe it makes the decision a little bit easier. So what's the back?
It's you know what? I see him. I know him very well. I have a great relationship with Kobe. I consider him a friend, to be honest with you, to be totally transparent about my relationship with Kobe. I see him walking around. He looks fine. So I don't really know what it is. There's a lower body injury day to day. He hasn't been put on IR. So I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. But he's a 37-year-old player, Jason, and you don't bounce back from injuries that much. They do need him. He's not going to provide a lot of offense, but I think he can instill more confidence in the room and maybe make a play with 3 minutes to go to win a game. Maybe not score a goal, make a backhand pass or something like that, or make a defensive play to stop a Jason Robertson or a Mark Scheifele when things get going. So they absolutely need him for the stretch run. It's just been day-to-day. It's just been lingering, and that's been the biggest challenge for Kobe to come back from injury.
DB, always good to catch up with you, buddy. Rams, Seahawks, what's your biggest concern in the NFC Championship?
I have no concerns because Sam Darnold's the other quarterback.
All right, there you go. I love it. Spoken like a diehard. Fantastic. Should be a heck of a game. I'm looking forward to it. The one thing I know for sure, it'll be loud in Seattle. That's the one thing you know. That honestly, of all the sports venues I've been to, that's the loudest one I've ever been to.
And one more thing more, Jason. There's nothing better than the Rams or the Seahawks winning the Super Bowl in the 49ers stadium. That's my biggest joy.
Oh, yeah. Geez, I didn't even think about that. Wow. Yeah, that might be a tough one for 49. That just adds to the rivalry. Makes it a little juicier. Sure. I like it. Thanks, DB. Appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
JG, always fun. Thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
I bet you. There's Dennis Bernstein joining us from the fourth period. And that's actually a good point, eh, Cons? NFC wins it. They'll be celebrating at the 49ers stadium. Oof. Wonder how that will go over amongst 49er fans. Now, hey, from Montana to Rice, how do you think about that one? That'll be tough to do, right? It'll be tough to handle, but that's just how it goes.
Yeah, I was going to say MTR, Rowdy Roddy, a few others. Now, I'm not exactly sure what the tiebreaker would be, but if the Seahawks win, the Broncos and the Patriots all have 14 wins. So could they be celebrating in the Niners locker room?
Oh, so you mean so when they go, the home team isn't based on conference in the championship?
I don't think so.
Oh, because in the Grey Cup, if the West hosts it, the West team
West
gets
get
it. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, hey, that'd be something. I never really put that together. And then I love that confidence. I'm starting to become a little bit more of a Sam Darnold believer, I will say. But that was spoken like a true Rams fan. Very well. Well put by DB.
Yeah, I thought Darnold was fine.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't have to do much. What, 12 of 17?
Yeah, didn't no. They're well, all I know is when I watch that and I'm just like I like Charbonnet, but Walker's a way better running back. I don't even think it's a debate. He's a way better running back.
Are you a Walker fantasy owner?
Yeah, but that's not why. But I had him in the league that in my guillotine league, I obviously didn't play him. I don't think he's the top running back then.
Yeah.
But when I watch him, he's just more dynamic.
I've long thought that, and then I never understand why they go Charbonnet in the red zone. But yeah, Kenneth Walker, 3 scores yesterday. That was Saturday night. Sorry.
Is this the last year? Is he a free agent?
Might be. I'll take a quick look.
Yeah, I want to check that out because I thought he might be. Because if he is, his free agent stock will be rising significantly. If he is, I thought he was, but I could totally be wrong. Maybe he has 1 year after this. So might have to text Brad. He would know. Quick break. We'll return. It is the Jason Gregor Show. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, presented by YouTube, Facebook, on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where you want to get in. You can check out some odds boost tonight for the Gregor Show. Of course, we're going a little NCAA. We're taking Indiana to win by 8 and total points over, and we're taking Vegas to win and Winnipeg and Chicago to actually score 6 goals, Cons. That one, hey, you got to go offense. So you can check it out, playalberta.ca.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great. But you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 1-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada. Properties include the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility in Nisku, features 2 sheets of ice, a 1,600-seat arena, as well as Summit Restaurant. Learn more at silentice.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So when you wake up to no heat,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
if you need it immediately with no overtime rates, if you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
It's like a locker room, minus the smell.
Ew.
Kevin Carius brings the banter, the buzz, and the bold sports talk. Weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Sports 1440, Edmonton's home for sports.
Sure, your couch is comfortable, but watching the game is always better and on the rocks. With crystal clear TVs, you won't miss a single play, and the specials are a major league win. Pre-game warm-up starts with specials 30 minutes before the puck drops. Get 69-cent wings and $5.75 Molson Canadian and Coors Light drafts, and play score and win every game for your chance to win big. Be part of the action this hockey season. See the menu online at ontherocksyeg.com.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Does your New Year's resolution include saving money? Then don't miss the store-wide inventory clearance at the Brick. Save up to 70% off in-store clearance items. Buy more, save more on bedroom and dining furniture. Up to 25% off. Save on select major kitchen appliances. Plus, buy 2 or more and save the tax. Finally, a resolution you can keep. The Brick, saving you more. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$450. Gregor, Ali, Declan Kruger with you. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. It is Championship Monday, of course, the NCAA football championship. Seems like forever. It took way too long. That's just my note for them, but it'll be going tonight. Indiana looking to just finish off an absolutely dominant season for a program that's really never been dominant before. Meanwhile, Miami looking to get in their way. I think there's going to be some points in this game, but man, I like Indiana. So I'm taking Indiana for sure. The U beat it. I did like the swagger that they used to have all the time at the U. It's been a while, but I'm sure there will be a lot of alumni, I would guess. I don't even know, who's the biggest alumnus for Indiana? Con, is there a big one?
Geez Louise. Antoine Randall L?
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe. But man, they're the U has got tons of guys, right?
Yeah. Well, they got Clinton Portis right there, Ed Reed.
Yeah.
Michael Irvin's been at all the games taking the belt off. Ray Lewis will be there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They'll be disappointed though. So that's another reason why I'm cheering for Indiana, man. But we'll see how it goes.
If you're a Raiders fan, you're looking at Fernando Mendoza. I think they might have one here. This could be the start of it. You pair that with a good coaching hire, and this could be something because, yeah, this guy's a stud.
Yeah. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Looking at, we got a lot of texts coming in. Hey, Gregor, I read your article today about Mangiapane and a trade. How soon do you think it'll happen? I look at, I think ideally sooner than later for all parties involved. And so I started looking, you hear some rumblings, this team's interested, that team's interested, sure. But you have to look at it from a realistic standpoint too, over, why would they? And one of the reasons why, because a lot of people are like, well, why would anyone trade for Mangiapane? Well, he's in limited action. He still got 6 goals. He had a good start. Then he went through a little bit of a funk. He's still an NHL player. And it's going to be hard for him to live up to the money. Yes, I understand that. Could he score 15 to 18 goals again next year on a team that's not as deep as Edmonton? Yes, I believe he could. And so that's why I think teams like that would be interested. And then you factor in that next year, the salary cap floor will be $76 million. Remember, it was only a few years ago when the The ceiling was 80 million. Like, it's going up significantly, up to 104. Now, I don't believe all the teams are going to spend at the top, but you have to. One team, I know they got Bedard. He'll get a new contract, big contract, but they're going to lose Shea Weber, who's not playing, but he counts on their roster right now at $7.6 million in Chicago. He's on the IR. They don't have him on LTIR. They have him on IR because he counts against the cap. So that gets them to the floor. The Chicago Blackhawks are a team, I think, that could have interest in Mangiapane. They've got about $52 million for next year. Even Bedard, right, who's going to get a big raise for sure, is probably what, 11, 12 million, something like that. Maybe more, depending on how long he signs. We'll see. But they're going to need other guys to fill out that roster. And will all those other veterans want to come back again? Right? Like, would Foligno want to go somewhere? He signed his deal. He made some good money. Does he want to go try to win? Does Jason Dickinson want to play in a more competitive team? We'll see. So I could see them looking and say, hey, we think Mangiapane, you know what? $3.6 million player. If he plays on a third line, helps us get to the floor. Okay. Are you going to have to give up a lot? No. They'd look and say, okay, Stan, maybe take one of the prospects that you drafted that really haven't panned out very much right now. It's an option. Not saying it'll happen, but I'm looking at realistic places, and Chicago was one for that reason, right? Columbus doesn't have a lot of money, but they got a lot of forwards, so I don't see them being an option. San Jose is another one near the bottom, but they just got Kiefer Sherwood from Vancouver today, and they're probably going to pay him, so I don't think they're going to take both of them. Plus, they've got other top 9 wingers that I think they like more right now, so I don't think they would take it, right? So then you look like the Ducks. Like, I know they're maybe hoping for some veterans. They had a little bit of funk, but very quietly, suddenly the Anaheim Ducks have won 3 in a row. It looked like they were going to the ditch, but they've grabbed the wheel. They pulled themselves back out. And that's good because the Ducks, for that organization, you want to take a step forward. And so they might look, say, geez, if we get Mangiapane, if we think he can help us because he's maybe more competitive, blah, 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 maybe they consider it. But I think Chicago is one that has a plausible landing spot for him, right? I could see it. I could see it happening potentially. So we'll see. Let's get to a break. We got Mark Spector coming up in the final hour. More on the Oilers. Hey, what about Curtis Lazar filling in nicely for Draisaitl? Somewhat tongue in cheek, but he is a point of game player in the absence of Leon Draisaitl. So that's been good. We'll get to all that, but first, let's get to the Con Man of Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Buick GMC Chevrolet. If you're looking for a great vehicle to start the 2026, stop in, see Mike and the gang, and they're hoping to continue off their success of 2025, not only in vehicles, but also in doing what they do charity-wise and helping feed families. Check it out, northgategm.com.
The Sports 1440 update.
The Vancouver Canucks have traded pending unrestricted free agent forward Kiefer Sherwood to the San Jose Sharks in exchange for defenseman Cole Clayton and 2 second-round picks. Sherwood has 17 goals, 23 points in 44 games this season. On the ice today, Avalanche up on the Caps 5-2, just wrapping up. Getting going into the third, the Penguins have a 3 lead over the Kraken, and after 20 minutes, Sharks and Panthers are scoreless. Later tonight, the Wild take on the Leafs. Golden Knights host the Flyers, Jets in Chicago, Flames and Devils. Canucks up against the Islanders and the Rangers in Anaheim. Earlier today was the Hurricanes victorious, knocking off the Sabres 2-1. In the association in the third quarter, Mavs up on the Knicks 90-69, and in the fourth, the Spurs lead the Jazz 98-82. Later tonight, Sixers host the Pacers. You got the Suns and the Nets, Pistons and Celtics, and the Heat head to the Bay to take on the Warriors. College football national championship tonight. Number 1 Indiana taking on number 10 Miami. Kickoff set for 5:30. In the NFL, Buffalo Bills firing head coach Sean McDermott after 9 seasons. The Dolphins close to hiring Jeff Hafley as their next head coach. He spent the last 2 seasons in Green Bay as their defensive coordinator. And Seahawks running back Zach Charbonnet done for the rest of the season with a torn ACL. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet, and we'll talk to Denver Broncos sideline reporter Susie Worgan. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy, designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Think your credit's not good enough for a new ride? Think again. Go Auto's car loan calculator is here to help. No commitments, no credit hits, just real answers. You tell us a few things, and we'll show you what you can afford. Text credit to 780-777-7777. That's credit to 780 all sevens. Go Auto. We do the math, so you can do the driving.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. Topped with
flying
pickles,
by.
then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt it.
Welcome back, Jason.
The
Gregor.
double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Does your New Year's resolution include saving money? Then don't miss the store-wide inventory clearance at the Brick. Save up to 70% off in-store clearance items. Buy
Gregor?
more, save more on bedroom and dining furniture. Up
Or
to 25%
Twitter, whatever you
off. Save on select major kitchen appliances. Plus, buy 2 or more and save the tax. Finally, a resolution you can keep. The Brick, saving you more. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details.
Escape the cold and catch the hottest sports action at Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge. Not a bad seat in the house. All the games and tons of big screens. Plus, Selly's menu has something for everyone, along with game night food and drink features. And this January, Oilers watch parties continue. So bring your friends and cheer loud and proud. Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge at all 3 Century Casino locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Every day is game day at Century Casino.
Measles is very dangerous during pregnancy, increasing the risk of many severe health-related complications. If you're planning to become pregnant, make sure you have received 2 doses of the vaccine at least 1 month before conception. Don't get measles, get immunized. Visit alberta.ca/measles to find out if you're up to date and what to do if you're not. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Oh, Canada. Jiffy Lube is here to keep you moving through mornings like these. Full synthetic oil changes, quality Pennzoil products, tire checks, battery tests, and everything else your car needs to get through our winters. Stop by Jiffy Lube for fast, easy, warranty-approved service. No appointment, no hassle. Just dependable service right when you need it. Jiffy Lube, keeping you moving through this.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Portions of this hour brought to you by EWEL. Get your power play amped up with EWEL, supplying the Sea of Champions and Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. EWEL.ca is your partner in power.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 5 o'clock. Let there be light, let there be drums. Hey, let there be some wins, Oiler fans. You got back-to-back wins. Good final way to wrap up the week for the Oilers. They had 5 games in 7 days. Started on Monday. Got a win. Then they lost in overtime. Then they actually played really well against the Islanders, lost, but then wrap it up with wins against Vancouver and St. Louis. So you go 3-1-1 in the week. But more importantly, no goals allowed in the last 2 games. Only 1 goal in their last 3 games. Starting to play a little bit better defensively for sure. Goaltending has been solid. Offense without Leon Draisaitl for 2 games, not a problem. So that's a good sign for the Edmonton Oilers. Zach Hyman scoring lots. Podkolzin scoring. The only negative really on the weekend was the Kasperi Kapanen injured. And doesn't sound like it's too serious, but he will not play tomorrow. Unless the Oilers make a trade, it looks like they'll go 11-7 tomorrow with Alec Regula getting back in the lineup. Now, how much is he going to play remains to be seen. We'll see. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Go to PlayAlberta.ca, of course, every day, and you can see the Jason Gregor Show odd boosts. Give you a little bit better action. Good luck there. And also casino, live dealer, lottery, instance, you name it, they got it. PlayAlberta.ca. As it's time now to get to the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. If you need running water, you need to drive on the road, well, they do all the stuff underground to get it going. GS Construction, is Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us once again. Spec, obviously an extremely successful weekend for the Oilers. 11 goals for, 0 goals against. And you know what? They get contributions from a lot of different players. Heck, Curtis Lazar is a point-a-game guy on the weekend for the Edmonton Oilers. So really not much to critique after that weekend for them.
No, they're kind of, I would say to you, things are rolling into form. Like if this is a slow starting team, we're halfway through the year. We're past the slow start. They found their game here. Now they found their offensive game. They've been scoring lots of goals. Their power play is excellent. Now they're starting to find a defensive game. I think the goaltending is all of a sudden become at some point, are we going to start to talk about Connor Ingram as the sneaky trade of the year in the National Hockey League? I don't know if we're there yet, but I can see it from here. So, you know what? The components are coming together. And when this team puts all the components together, well, that's why they got the 2 Stanley Cups. They're a good team.
Oh, yeah. No, they're a good team. I watched Nugent Hopkins play center on the weekend, Spec.
Pretty good. Yeah. I was thinking of you.
I will keep pounding the drum. Nugent Hopkins, third line center. Go get a winger. To me, that's the best scenario for the group.
I was thinking of you, man. He was good. He was really good in Vancouver, and they're real good too the next night. So good. Hey, listen, I'm not a dissenter. I don't think that I think I'm probably still of the same mind though, Jay, that he leaves you an option. What he does is he loosens.
Oh, sure. Yes.
He loosens it up for Stan Bowman at the trade deadline. If Bowman finds a deal he likes on a real good third line center, that's the deal you make. If he finds a left winger that he likes a lot, that's the deal you make. Right now, it's easier to find the deal you want when you have the more choices you have, and that's what Nugent Hopkins does for his GM. Is he leaves him in that position where he can shop the market for a couple different things, right?
Yeah. I agree. I just, priority number 1 to me is a scoring winger for the Edmonton Oilers for sure. Because, hey, you can always load up McDavid and Draisaitl to get another scoring winger. Then he can play with Nugent Hopkins. You have lots of options. Roslovic for a game could play center if need be, and away you go. The only negative I said on the weekend was the Kasperi Kapanen injury, because it was just, it looked so harmless. You just caught an edge. And the good news is, I saw him, and I don't know if you saw him, Spec, after the game. He was like beelining through the locker room, no limp, walking fast. Knobloch said afterwards, it doesn't sound like it's serious. So that's good news. But man, the guy just can't take a break. Maybe the Olympic break will be what he needs just to completely heal up and get back. And hopefully the injuries are behind him, because I'll say this, when he come back, he has played really well.
This is the best hockey he's played. Like, this is the best hockey he's played. He's held his own playing on the second line. He's been a top 6 forward since his return and deserved every shift of it. You know, this my opinion on him, and I think it's fair, is he's really become a good top 9 guy, and maybe on a real good team, a fourth line guy. That's what he's been the last few years. That's what he was for Edmonton the last, since he joined them. But he's taken a step here. They put him on the second line. I remember saying to you, well, he did it for a couple games. Let's see how long this lasts. It's lasted every minute that he's played. He's been a good second line player. So it's rare, Jay. It's rare that a guy changes his stripes a little bit in an upward fashion at this age and this point in his career, but it does happen. And maybe that's what Kasperi Kapanen is doing. Maybe he is a top 6 winger now, after all.
Well, he might be. And honestly, Spec, I look at when Nugent Hopkins is my third line center, I actually would like Kasperi Kapanen to be his winger, because then you've got Hyman on one line, Podkolzin on one line, Kapanen on one line. Roslovic can play with Draisaitl and Podkolzin. Your new guy can play with McDavid and Hyman. And then, your other winger on the left side, maybe it's Matt Savoy, maybe it's someone else. And they wrote, maybe it's Ike Howard. It's one of the two. I don't see both rookies in your top 9 in the playoffs for me. No. And that's not a knock. That's just, when you're a cup contender, that's kind of how it goes. But then you've got some real options. And that's why I think Kasperi Kapanen's health is a key thing down the stretch for the Oilers.
Yeah. When they got him off of waivers, no one thought the Oilers would count on him that much. And now when he plays really good like this, you go, holy cow, the guy's big. He can really skate. He's got some hands. Like, all of a sudden you do count on him. And when he's not in your lineup, you go, man, when's Kasperi Kapanen coming back? Like, they weren't saying that in St. Louis. They weren't saying that in Pittsburgh, but we're saying that here, man. And that's good for the player. Like, good for the guy who's resurrected his career and become an important player for the team he's on. And I think his contract's up at the end of this year, if I'm not mistaken. And he, if he continues at this level of play, he's a must sign. He's a guy you like. You want to re-sign this guy. And I'll tell you what, the last 2 teams he was on waived him. They weren't re-signing him. So good for Kasperi Kapanen.
Yeah, he's figured it out, and some guys it just takes a little bit longer, but obviously he's never lost the skill. Now he's just figured out how to use the skill on a more consistent basis. The week for the Oilers sets up very well for them. You play Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, then you don't play till next Tuesday again. All the teams, New Jersey, Pittsburgh, Washington, and the Ducks next week are all playing third game in 4 nights, second half of a back-to-back. Spec, dare to dream, but the Oilers could actually get a 3-game winning streak this week.
They could. They could. That's crazy that it sets up that way, that not only are they all on back-to-backs, but they're all on 3 and 4. Yeah. The Oilers are home and cooled here. They started 8 games in a row at home last night. Heading to the Olympic break, one last game in Calgary at the end of the shot, and then they're done until the Olympics are over. This is what you earn when you have a hard schedule like they had in the first half. This is what you get. This is the fruit here. And this is what you have to take advantage of. All that pain and all that travel and all those games in 20 different cities and 19 different nights, blah, 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 they had. This is where you got to take advantage, right? You're given a chance here to take advantage of all that and make it payback. And let's, they're starting into this 8-game stretch pretty good. A couple of shutouts. I'm really excited about their goaltending. Like, I don't remember a time that the goaltending looked this good, Jason, for a long time.
Well, I guess if you went back to the 2024 regular season, the 50 games under Chris Knobloch, Stuart Skinner was like top 6 in every category. So that
he was. I guess you're right.
But the Oilers, hey, right now there's a lot of things going well for the team, right? You're getting some depth scoring again. You're getting sound defense. Your goaltenders are playing really good when need be, but they're not being called upon to be out of this world good. So it's hey, winning solves a lot of things, Spec. Also last night, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, game 1000, honored with the T-shirt. He was honored with the warm-up of everybody copying him. Then he got the silver stick, and the crowd gave him numerous chants before the game. They had the Nugent-Hopkins chant going on in the third period. And then he scores the goal, Spec. Only the 10th player in NHL history to score a goal in his first NHL game and his 1,000th game. Like, it was, you couldn't have scripted a better night for Nugent Hopkins and the Oilers.
Yeah, and for the first game of the goal of the game to stand up as the winner. I mean, obviously you have to have a shutout. And the Oilers, I looked up a stat last night. Since the Oilers joined the league, right, in 79-80, there's been 33 NHL franchises move, Atlanta Thrashers and Jets and all that. And the Oilers rank 27th in shutouts in that group since they joined the league. Florida's ahead of them, and Florida's played 1,100 games less than the Oilers have played, and they got more shutouts. So the Oilers, it's never been a thing around here.
Right.
But anyway, they get one last night. Ingram seemed genuinely thrilled to have been part of the whole Nugent Hopkins thing. He's a real interesting cat, and he seemed like he was just pleased as punch to be able to have delivered the shutout that gave Nugent Hopkins the game-winning goal. Whole team went out for dinner afterwards, and I mean, they really, they do these things right now. The Oilers, I got to give them credit. Like when one of these things comes along, they sure do it upright.
Yeah, and it was, that's actually good stats, Beck. I just looked it up as you were talking. So, got 140 shutouts in that time. The Wild have 140. Now, obviously, the Wild and Panthers came in, a little bit of the dead puck era, and everything went down because
Edmonton was playing in the dead puck era too.
And they were terrible. That was the
they weren't getting many shutouts back then.
Oh God! Like if you look in the in the 80s, Spec. I think even in the 80s, the Oilers, they had 14 shutouts in a decade, right?
Is that what they had?
Yeah, they had 14 in a decade. The Devils only had 10, the Maple Leafs 12, the Stars had 13. Those are and then at the top though was the Canadians at 36. So there wasn't a ton of shutouts back then, right? It was high scoring, but it's it is interesting. So that was 800 games, and they only had 14. So they've actually improved since then. But
they're getting better.
Yeah, they're getting better. But it was also it's the third time that the Oilers have had two different goalies post shutouts in consecutive games. The first time was Salo and Markkanen, and then actually Stuart Skinner and Jack Campbell did it in 2023. And also the third time that the Oilers have had three different goalies post a shutout in a season. So, because Skinner had two before he got traded. So, hey, a little bit more shutouts this year, but man, like Connor Ingram, Spec, 8 out of 9 starts have been excellent for him. Like he has been really good, and he looks so calm in goal right now for Edmonton. And with him and Jari, there's 8 games between now and the Olympic break. There's no reason to play Jari a significant amount more, right? Like it should probably be 4-4, shouldn't it?
At this point, I don't see how one guy's the number 1 and one guy's the number 2, frankly. Jari has a higher pedigree, and Jari came at a greater cost, and Jari sort of replaced your number 1. So I guess we all look at Jari as the 1 and Ingram as the 2. But if you stripped off their nameplates and you just watched them play, I don't see how one is any better or worse than the other at this point. I'm absolutely playing them back and forth. Unfortunately, Cal Pickard probably doesn't get a start for a long time, but I'm absolutely playing them back, one after the other. And I don't know. It's the dog days of the season. Why does one guy need to play a whole bunch? Maybe Jari wants to play more. I don't think Ingram is. I think his mouth's just shut. He just plays when they tell him to play. But it's a good situation. You know what? If Jari stays healthy and finds his game, and Ingram, the way he's playing right now, oh boy, I like I say, I haven't been this bullish on the Oilers goaltending for a while, but what I'm seeing is making me pretty positive.
Not since Shtelenkov was here, one of your favorites. So
I like Mikhail Shtelenkov. He's a very handsome goalie.
Spectre joins us. Spec, the Oilers in Vegas really starting to create a little separation in the Pacific Division. Now Vegas has 2 games, and they got some games in hand here, and they added Rasmus Andersson.
Yeah,
the trade. What do you make of that deal for Vegas?
Well, listen, they added a really good player, so they have to get better for that. And all they did was give up things that aren't on their roster.
Well, Zach Whitecloud.
Yeah, okay, excuse me. But I guess my point being, the minute that Rasmus Anderson walks into your roster, I'm not sure Zach Whitecloud doesn't probably, if he's not the 6, he's the 7. And I like Zach Whitecloud. He's a nice player. Like he's good for Calgary. He's a high character guy. But anyhow, they're better. They just added the top right shot D-man available at the deadline, and they added him way before the deadline. So, beware Vegas when there's a big name out there. Somehow they always seem to, if they're in on every guy, and it seems like they get them so often. I mean, gosh, they got Pietrangelo the one year, he was the biggest name. Then they got Eichel one year, he was the biggest name. Now they got Anderson this year. I'm not sure he's not the biggest name. Like Kelly McCrimmon, man, I give him credit. He gets it done. Like he gets it done. He brings in the big horse every couple of years, doesn't he?
Yeah. Oh, no question about it. And, Whitecloud's going to get a huge opportunity. I probably thought he was the number 5 in Vegas, even if he added Anderson. But, Korzak, I like him better than him and Ben Sutton. Like, I think for Calgary to get the picks, but like Zach Whitecloud isn't as good straight up as Anderson, but I don't think the gap is like terrible from Anderson. I actually like this. I think he's going to add some physicality and when you're a team that's going through a rebuild spec, you need some guys who are at least harder to play against and will jump up. And Whitecloud, that's how he plays, right? Like he's rocked a few guys. He'll play physical. Yep. And I think that, it's kind of Alberta's still a blue collar town. People like guys who just, show up and play hard. I don't mind this trade actually for Calgary either. For a guy who wasn't going to re-sign there, you get a first, you get a younger defenseman in Whitecloud who's a proven NHL defenseman on a good team. He's not like he's coming from a bad team.
No.
He's coming from a good team where he played. And they get a second rounder, potentially a first rounder if Vegas wins. So I thought Calgary did pretty decent as well.
Yeah, there's a few things for me. Like when you're a young team and if you're going to do a rebuild, you're going to have young players. Young players are usually soft. Like they're easy to play against. That's just the way life goes, especially if you bring in the high skill guys. They've got the puck and they're hard to play against that way. But you need to surround them with some players like Whitecloud, like even if you're bringing in the guys like Vinny Desharnais, who I'm watching just scored for San Jose, he's hard to play against. Like when guys pick on your good young player, you need someone around to stand up for him. Say, hey, you can't get away with that here. So that's one thing. The other is I'm with you. I don't mind the trade at all, but this illustrates how long it can be to have a rebuild. Like the first round pick is 27, correct?
Yes.
It's 27. The second round conditional pick is 28. So you're looking at a guy who's 18, not next year, but the year after.
Yeah. Oh, it's a rebuild. It's down the road.
So that kid's not 20 for 3 years from now. He's still a 20-year-old, maybe playing for your team now. So, because these are Vegas's draft picks and they're going to be in the 20s. So that kid's not going to walk in and play for your team right away, probably. So you make a trade today for players that are going to join your team in a positive scenario in 3 and 4 years from now. So rebuilds, I've always said it, they're easy to start, but they're hard to finish and they're hard to tell me how long it's going to take. So I hope Calgary's goes well for them, but this is a prime example of how far out that talent is that you turn Rasmus Anderson into.
Yeah. No, that's and that's kind of what you have to do if you're Calgary, right? Like ideally you would like to get younger prospects that are high-end prospects, but those are a little bit harder to come by at that point. And I look at this spec, I'm a team that's competitive. I would not shy away from trading my first rounder who's a late first rounder all the time. Honestly, I wouldn't, because I'm going to get a guy. Now, they obviously have to sign Anderson, and, history says they have a pretty good chance.
History says they will. Yeah.
And then quickly, what's your thoughts on the Sharks Canucks trade for Kiefer Sherwood?
Yeah, I'm happy to see that the Sharks are at a point in their rebuild where all of a sudden they're competing for a good player. Like I never really kind of put them in the mix. I know some of the guys probably had their name in there, but I always feel like a guy like Kiefer Sherwood was going to go to a Vegas, a Boston, an Edmonton, a real high contending team, of Florida, Colorado, all of a sudden San Jose picks them off. I thought that was kind of cool. They're in there saying, hey, we think we're going to make the playoffs And we think we want a good depth guy like this. So good for San Jose, man. They're throwing their hat in the ring. Mike Greer does a nice job there. I like that.
Well, hey, they're up in Florida right now, spanking the Panthers 3-0.
They are.
In the middle of the second period. Vinny Desharnais has scored for the.
Watch that goal. It was a fine puck by the big Quebecer.
Yeah, and like Florida's in a little bit of trouble, Spec. I'd mentioned it. They had a really hard schedule in the month of January, and it continues because they were on the road trip for, I think they had a 7 or 6 game road trip. They come home for one game. Then they go back to Winnipeg and Minnesota and Chicago, home for one game, back out to St. Louis, home the whole month. Basically, the entire month, they never played consecutive games in the same city, right? And that's because they had such an easy schedule of 26 of their first 41 games on home ice. And that'll catch up to you. And I know that they got Tkachuk back now and stuff, but you watch out Florida, man. I'm not sold on the Panthers. Like, Bobrovsky's been brutal this year for Florida. They're going to be in a battle here to try to knock off Buffalo and Detroit and Montreal and Boston and all these other teams. Like the Panthers, like you can't rule them out yet, but they are far from easy street getting into the playoffs this year.
3 cups in a row they played in.
Yeah,
right.
And for Barkov injury hurts them, no question.
And we forget that Barkov is probably not going to play a shift all season long, and he's their best player, right? He's their best player, and he's not going to play a shift all season long. And Matt Tkachuk, who's one of their best players, is stepping on the moving train off a long injury, past the halfway point of the season, and he's supposed to walk in and help you. Oh my God, it's going to take him a month and a half, 2 months just to find his own game before he becomes one of the good players. So it's a tall order. We all have, anyone in Edmonton, we all got pretty high respect for that organization and the way they play and what they can accomplish. But boy, oh boy, I'm with you, buddy. The deck stacked against him here, man. The deck stacked against him.
Spec, have a good one. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Little New Jersey Devils who are taking on the Flames tonight. So we'll
Sounds
see.
Good, Jake.
There you go. That's Mark Spector, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. Quick break. We'll return talking lots more NHL and NFL on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense. Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
Jason Gregor isn't just a sports guy. He's a community builder with over $3 million raised for local charities. And his Gregor Foundation, he's making a difference on and off the air. Check out Gregor weekday afternoons on Sports 1440.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI, Custom Floors Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Riverside Honda. 59 years and counting as St. Albert and surrounding areas' premier Honda and Can-Am dealer. It's your dream. Ride it at riversidehonda.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
5:30, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely Monday afternoon. Of course, Oilers day off today. They will take on the New Jersey Devils tomorrow night. We got the national championship in college football tonight. A busy slate of NBA and NHL games, as of course it's Martin Luther King Day south of the border, and it's the day after the NFL because now we know the 4 teams remain in the conference championships. You got the Broncos hosting the Patriots. You have the Seahawks hosting the Rams. Unfortunately, the big story is who's not playing. That's Bo Nix, the quarterback of the Denver Broncos. Just terrible news. You win the game, and then literally a few minutes after the game, they announce that he's out for the season. He's going to have surgery tomorrow on his ankle. It's just brutal news as we get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Summit Restaurant, located in Silent Ice Center, just off of Calgary Trail out by Nisku. If you're looking for great food while you watch the game, it is perfect. Homemade pizza, delish. Check it out at the Summit Restaurant. As we go out to Denver, where it's kind of got to be a strange feeling. There's like one foot's in the circle. Yeah, this is awesome. And then the other foot's probably mourning a little bit the bad news to Bo Nix, as Broncos sideline reporter Susie Wargin joined us. Susie, welcome back to the show. How you doing?
I can't hear you, Jason. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
I can hear you. I can't hear you at all.
Oh, that is.
I could before, so maybe we'll just do it on the phone.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, well,
I wish I could read lips better.
That's a little odd. So it went off, but we could see her. We could hear her. She couldn't hear us. So we'll get it connected a little bit better. But it is like I was trying to think earlier. Can anybody think of like I know people said, well, what about Zach Hyman's injury? Yeah, but Zach Hyman at the time he left, and it wasn't. It wasn't the final game of the series against Dallas when he got hurt, right? But still, it was devastating, no doubt. But we're talking, and no offense, he's not Connor McDavid, right? Like your quarterback in football is so incredibly important that you lose your quarterback literally minutes after the victory. If you would have been popping champagne, the cork wouldn't even have hit the ground yet when they announced that Bo Nix was going for surgery. That was awful. And you heard, his coach talking, they came off, their chest bumping the coach. And Bo Nix is like, careful. And he's like, what? What do you mean careful? That was awful. So Susie's back with us. And Susie, it's unlike anything I've really seen in football where you win the game and because he finished the game, no one saw that Bo Nix was clearly injured. Definitely didn't think he had a broken ankle. And then all of a sudden now he's out. And that's got to be devastating because he's been so good for them this season.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
I can. Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Yes. And I caught the end of your question. So I think I know where you're going with that. Thanks for having me, Jason. It's good to talk to you always. So yeah, it was really surreal how everything happened at the end of that game. I mean, not only does it go into overtime, it was really, really cold and back and forth, and they get the game-winning field goal. Everybody's celebrating. The locker room is super joyous. We, we're the flagship station radio-wise for the Broncos, and so our play-by-play guy always talks with Bo Nix, and I kind of help watch for Bo. Bo will usually go take a shower. I do a few interviews, and then we kind of time it right with our broadcast so that he talks to Bo. And Bo wasn't coming out. And I'm like, I did 4 interviews, which is very rare for me to do that many as we're trying to wait. We take a couple breaks. And then finally the PR people said, hey, it's not going to happen, which, we're like, why? We get Bo, that's part of our contract is to talk to Bo. So it was a little weird, especially after a win like that, but we signed off. I bring all my equipment upstairs, talk to my guys for a little bit, and then I'm walking towards the press box, and I get stopped by one of the replay guys, and he said, hey, did you hear about Bo? And I said, no. And he's like, yeah, he broke his ankle, surgery Tuesday. And I'm like, you're kidding me, right? And he wasn't, obviously. And then I saw one of the PR people, and I could just see it on her face. It was like a morgue in the press box as I went back through there. I mean, I went back down and told our station what was going on, so we had it on the air quickly. But yeah, it was one of those things where then Sean Payton, I think rightfully so, made the right decision, because at that point, I left the locker room when locker room was closed, so he couldn't address the team and let them know. So he got back out on the podium, told the media basically at the same time telling his team so that everybody could find out. So it was pretty devastating to go from the highest of high to a super low. However, I think now we've had a couple days to process. People are learning more about, okay, I think Jarrett Stidham, they're not the same person, but Jarrett's got a great arm. He knows this offense really well. He's been in it for 3 years. I think we're going to be in really, really good hands with Stidham. And we got a lot of other really great players on this team too, especially on defense. So I think we're going to be able to stack up against the Patriots really well on Sunday.
The Patriots and the Broncos, it would have been a great 1 versus 2 matchup if Bo Nix is healthy. It still might be a great matchup, but two young quarterbacks, maybe a little bit of the future here in the NFL, especially this year is kind of weird. No Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow, no Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. No Patrick
Mahomes,
yeah,
I know.
Kind of crazy. Now, they could all be back next year. We'll see. But you look at this matchup defensively for the Broncos. The Broncos got a really good defense, no question. And you know what? They just had a great game. You're going up against Josh Allen, and they found ways to win that game. If you look at Drake May, what are the differences do you think he's going to present to that defense that Buffalo didn't?
That's a great question. And I haven't watched enough Patriots games because usually we're playing. And so the first time I've gotten to really watch them was when we were on bye, which was nice. And also, of course, yesterday too. So I think that I think that New England has an excitement going and a momentum going like we got this year, where people go, how are they winning all these games? It's a second-year quarterback, and what is he doing? What are they doing? So I just think that there's things that sometimes those younger players can do. They're mobile. I think Drake May, has a team behind him, very similar to Bo. I think it would have, like you said, been a really good matchup to see the two of them against each other because of where they both are in their careers right now with their NFL careers. So, I think that it's going to be one of those things where I have confidence in our team. I mean, New England also has had us starting over similar to what we did. So we have so many similarities as far as that goes, where, the franchises have been there with Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, and we have a lot of history between these two teams, but then we've also all had to go through some major rebuilding. So I think it'll be really interesting. I feel like the Broncos, and of course I look through, orange and blue colored glasses all the time, but we had the experience of a postseason last year and knowing, that was a big thing to get over that hump with this win this last weekend to make it to that next level and get that win in the postseason. And so those guys have that. We brought in some of the key pieces we were missing last year when Buffalo took us out pretty handily. So I think those will be big things on our side that will be very, very helpful. This defense, Jason, has just every week come up with something different. And we saw it again this last week. Finally, they're getting the turnovers. And it was something that Sean Payton, he's like, hey, great, we're getting all these sacks. We need turnovers. And so we get 5 turnovers and in such unconventional ways, with that Jaquan McMillan one that, looks like a jump ball and he just steals it and it's, called an interception, but you still don't know that he has it till he's practically in the end zone. And everybody's still talking about it, whether or not it should have been. And just guys really coming up and stepping up. And I think that's where this defense and Vance Joseph is a mastermind with it. It can be really sneaky and create some problems for them.
Susie Warden joins us there on Sports 1440. Of course, the Broncos and the Patriots going at it in the NFC Championship. And then you have Seattle and LA. And of course, the winners will meet in San Francisco in the first weekend of February. So this season for the Broncos, people were expecting them to take a step forward. I don't know if anybody thought they'd take a step all the way to first place. How has it changed expectations, right? Because, the Broncos, obviously, the John Elway era, they were great. And, the Peyton Manning era, they're pretty darn good. The last few years, not so much. But how has it changed? And how is this one different? Because maybe it was a little unexpected to vault all the way to number 1 in the division.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that, in the preseason, Sean Payton brought up that, he could see this team being a Super Bowl contender and people were like, oh, wow, we're going there right now. And now here we are where we're 1 win away from being in Santa Clara. So I think that people still kind of tempered their expectations, but then as we start off the first 3 games, we're 1 and 2 because we lose the 2 games after winning the first game. And then a string of wins, including going on the road to Philadelphia, going to London, coming home, just having like these crazy road trips and some really, a lot of games before there was a bye week. And to be the number one seed, I think people were like, wow, nobody saw that one coming. To win the West, people were hoping that would happen, to win the AFC West, but not necessarily to be the number one seed. So I think people are like, man, we're kind of playing with house money here. This is great. How far can we go? And since there aren't those expectations of, well, we were just there last year, or we made it there, a few years ago. It's been 10 years. The last time we were in the Super Bowl, it was in Santa Clara for Super Bowl 50. So it'd be crazy if the Broncos were able to go back and be at the exact same place where Peyton Manning won our last Super Bowl. So I think that it's just, it's an excitement. It is an unexpected, place that people are just like, wow, I can't believe that we're here. Whereas I think the team all along, and I think Sean has probably preached to this team all along, that they could be there. And that was the goal. He had 3 goals. It was to win the division, get the number one seed, get to the Super Bowl. Well, win the Super Bowl would be the 3rd goal. So it's, Sean has kind of known all along, and it's surprised people that he brought it up so early when we were in preseason, but now here we are. So it's fun, and this town's going crazy just like it always has in the past. Football rules this city. We've got a hockey team that has the most points of anybody in the NHL right now by far, and still the Broncos rule. We love our Avs, but the Broncos rule. The Nuggets are doing really well without Nikola Jokic, and are, their 2nd, 3rd seed in the Western Conference, this last few weeks up and down, and still the Broncos. So it's just one of those things where we are a football town, and people are going to go nuts this week.
Oh God, I would think so. It should be a lot of fun. Susie, when you look at the, Stidham, and it's hard because he hasn't thrown many balls, right? But how different do you think the Broncos offense will be? Like, is it going to be a lot more simpler? Like, is it going to be a run attack? Like, what? Obviously, it's going to change. It's not Bo Nix, and he's been there basically, for the last few seasons. Stidham hasn't done much. So, how simple do you think the playbook will have to be for someone who hasn't played?
It's interesting because Sean was asked that yesterday. He did a Zoom with the media, and one of our AP guys asked him that and said, you kind of have to toss out the book when the backup quarterback comes in. And Sean said, I disagree with that. I don't think that's true. Didn't have to do that when Drew Brees was hurt, went into that. So I think what happens, you have a quarterback that doesn't have the running game that Bo has. I mean, Bo was our leading rusher in the game on Saturday. So Jared, you're not going to see him running around as much, but he's got an arm on him. And so maybe it's getting, more of the passing game going. And Jared, Sean brought up a good point. He said, sometimes he gets mad at Vance because, Jared's making the defense look bad because he goes out there and goes up against those guys and does a good job. So the Patriots drafted Jared Stidham. He was with Vegas for a year before he came here. And Sean said he's always kind of had his eye on him, and he's very, very well liked in the locker room. He hangs out with a lot of the guys, offense and defense. They play golf together in the off season. So he's got a great chemistry with everybody. He and Bo are best of friends. If you look at the sidelines, as soon as Bo comes off, Jared's one of the first people talking to him, along with the QB coach, Davis Webb. So they're very tight. I don't think that it's going to change too much. Sean likes his stuff, but he'll be smart about it, and won't have him doing things. He said it best. He said, you cater to your skill set of your players. So I don't think it's going to be a ton different, but I do feel like we may see more passing game for sure.
All right. Well, we'll look for that. Susie, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the week, and best of luck in the the AFC Championship.
That's okay. Hey, thank you very much. And maybe we'll chat later about the Avs.
Oh, yeah. Hey, well, the Avs are pretty damn good. They won again today.
Right?
That McKinnon and McDavid that's going to be a race. But, man, the Avs are rolling. And I'm sure people in Denver are just like, okay, how good can they be? Because they are off to an unbelievable start. And they really haven't slowed down all year.
I know. We're lucky right now. We got 3 franchises that are playing at high levels, and it's unbelievable to be here now.
Oh, yeah. It's fun. It's fun sports town to be in when everybody's winning. No doubt about that.
That's right.
Awesome. Thanks, Susie.
Thanks, Jason. Take care, man.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back, wrap things up. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The new double cheesy melt at McDonald's. We're talking 2 juicy, mouth-watering 100% Canadian beef patties, 2 slices of cheesy goodness, with even more melty, cheesy sauce on top. topped with pickles, then crispy and grilled onions. The way it all comes together, you don't just eat it, you melt into it. The double cheesy melt, only at McDonald's. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Mr. Rooter goes skiing.
Sick gear, Mr. Rooter. Are you ready to hit the slopes?
Not yet. I need to report a possible crime.
Oh no, what's happening?
I saw a bunch of hooligans discussing shredding the half pipe. As a plumber, I've taken the Hippocratic Oath to do no harm and act in the best interest of all pipes, whether PVC, copper, or otherwise.
It's made of snow, Mr. Rooter.
Snow? Things are worse than I had feared.
There's no better plumber than Mr. Rooter.
Exciting news from St. Albert Dodge. The all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. They have a great selection and a bunch of colors to choose from. And if you've checked out the Sport, you know it comes in some fun colors. Rugged capability, practical off-road features, and you can get behind the wheel for as low as $49,900. That's right. Put yourself in a brand new Jeep Gladiator Sport for less than $50,000. What more can you ask for? Time to head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Does your New Year's resolution include saving money? Then don't miss the store-wide inventory clearance at the Brig. Save up to 70% off in-store clearance items. Buy more, save more on bedroom and dining furniture. Up to 25% off. Save on select major kitchen appliances. Plus, buy 2 or more and save the tax. Finally, a resolution you can keep. The Brick, saving you more. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details.
Escape the cold and catch the hottest sports action at Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge. Not a bad seat in the house. All the games and tons of big screens. Plus, Selly's menu has something for everyone, along with game night food and drink features. And this January, Oilers watch parties continue. So bring your friends and cheer loud and proud. Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge at all 3 Century Casino locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Every day is game day at Century Casino.
Measles is very dangerous during pregnancy, increasing the risk of many severe health-related complications. If you're planning to become pregnant, make sure you have received 2 doses of the vaccine at least 1 month before conception. Don't get measles, get immunized. Visit alberta.ca/measles to find out if you're up to date and what to do if you're not. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers are back in action, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian, 69-cent wings, and play score and win every game. See more at ontherocksyeg.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$5.49. What's interesting is I watched the intros for Indiana and Miami. The players are coming out on the field. It just makes me laugh when I used to have people that would tell you, oh, best college team could beat a CFL team. And I'm like, are you guys on crack? It wouldn't even be close. Just the sheer size difference. People don't understand. You get CFL players. Lots of those guys are also, these are good teams in there, but how many players from each team are even going pro football? Like, it's just comical to me. It's going to be a great game. Looking forward to it. Can't wait. But I still chuckle when people tell me that they think a college. I actually saw people saying college teams could beat the worst NFL team this year. Like, oh my God, it's just mind blowing. Tell us you don't know the game without telling us you don't know the game. So we'll see. Konza, who do you like tonight? Then we'll get Declan, get his mic ready.
I'm going to go with the Hoosiers. I mean, they've been so good, and they've taken down teams that I thought they'd have trouble with. Offensively, defensively, they've just been so strong. And their head coach, like I think it's one of the best stories in sports, turning that program around in 2 seasons. Like, Curtis Rourke was obviously there last year, but to not miss a beat, you pick up Mendoza in the transfer portal, and they seem so focused and locked in and fundamentally strong. Miami's a good team, but I'll take Indiana.
Deck.
Yeah, I'm going with Indiana. I will say Miami's shown up in every big game they've had this season. Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Ohio State, Ole Miss, but there's just something about this Indiana team. It's a Cinderella run. It's magical. Give me Indiana.
And at the start of the college playoffs, who did you like?
Indiana,
yeah.
Maybe a little Ohio State in there.
Yeah, I was Ohio State, so I can't claim that. But the way they handled Ohio State and all the other teams they played, like they just look great.
And now Indiana has a very veteran-laden team. How many of their guys are they going to lose?
I'm not sure the official number on starters. The roster turnover is going to be significant next year. Like they have a lot of grad transfers. They have a lot of older guys. It's going to be a new regime coming in next year for the most part. They're already working the portal. They do have Fernando Mendoza's younger brother playing quarterback as well for this team. So maybe he kind of keeps the family tradition going, keeps the reins. But yeah, that's why I'm wondering if this is almost the season for Indiana to do it. All the more reason I want them to.
And speaking of Mendoza, how would you project him as an NFL QB?
Great size, great IQ for the game. My one thing I've kind of said about Fernando Mendoza as opposed to other really good college quarterbacks, like sometimes in college you'll see guys force things because they have the ability to. Fernando Mendoza is happy to just pass the ball 10 times and hand it off 30 if it means his team is going to win the game. Like he plays within systems really, really well, whereas I think sometimes college quarterbacks really try and show off their skill set. Fernando Mendoza doesn't have that ego to him. I think that part of his game, his IQ for the game, really benefits him at the next level.
All right. Well, it should be a good game tonight. I'm hoping there's going to be a lot of offense. I got to have a sense that there'll be a fair amount of points played in this. I don't even know. Where's it at?
Miami.
It is in Miami. Oh, yeah, that's right. They're like one of the few teams to have a home field advantage, which makes kind of like the 49ers had they won this weekend and this past weekend and this weekend, they would have hosted the Super Bowl, but obviously very difficult. So there's a pretty good contingent, though, of Indiana fans I've seen in the crowd.
They have the biggest alumni base in America of any university, 800,000 alumni members.
What?
Yeah. Crazy stat.
Indiana does.
Last game, they trumped the other side when it came to fans. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wow. That's like so I don't know why. That's like
no, it shocked me as well.
Yeah.
Weird school to have that.
Weird. So man, okay. And they've never, this is their first national championship in football. So, I saw that story online about, this guy's been going to Indiana, him and his wife, and they finally got to go to the game. It was a great story on Yahoo that I read. So you're right. Maybe it's one and done. We'll see. Should be a fun game. Also, lots of games in the NHL. The one that Oilers fans probably watching, maybe side eye a little bit tonight. You have the Flames hosting the Devils. The Devils will be in Edmonton tomorrow, and you might be hoping for an upset as the Oilers are chasing Vegas, and they are hosting the Philadelphia Flyers. I do know that White Cloud is playing for Calgary, but I don't think Rasmus Anderson's going to. Is his visa going to be done in time for him to play tonight, Cons? I haven't seen that or not, but we shall see. On behalf of Connor Howell, Declan Kruger, I'm Jason Gregor. Have yourselves a wonderful Monday. Enjoy the championship game. Enjoy the NHL. We'll talk Oilers Devils tomorrow. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Loca. Quality meals delivered right to your door. It's very easy. Go to meals.loca.ca. Chef prepared, healthy meals delivered right to your door. Meals.loca.ca. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
In case you missed it earlier today, the Canucks trading forward keeper Sherwood to the San Jose Sharks for defenseman Cole Clayton and 2 second-round picks. Sherwood had 17 goals, 23 points in 44 games this season. On the ice right now, Sharks beating up on the Panthers 3-0 after 40 minutes. Early in the first, the Wild have a 1-0 lead over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Later on tonight, you got the Flyers in Vegas taking on the Golden Knights. Rasmus Anderson will not play. Elsewhere, Jets and Blackhawks, Flames, Devils, Islanders taking on the Canucks, and the Ducks host the Rangers. Earlier today, it was the Hurricanes doubling up the Sabres 2-1. Avs over the Caps 5-2. and the Kraken losing at home to the Penguins 6-3. In the association right now, Pacers have a 50-41 lead over the 76ers in the second quarter, and it's early, but the Suns up on the Nets 21-13. Still to come, Pistons and Celtics and the Heat taking on the Warriors. College football playoffs national championship tonight out in Miami, scoreless early on between number 1 Indiana Hoosiers and number 10 Miami Hurricanes. And from the NFL, Buffalo Bills firing head coach Sean McDermott. The Dolphins hiring former Green Bay Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley as their next head coach, and Zach Charbonnet done for the year with a torn ACL. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, it is Fox Sports Radio. Live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. with Kevin Carrius. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6